I am the ancient. I am the land. My beginnings are lost in the darkness of the past. I was the warrior. I was good and just. I thundered across the land like the wrath of a just god. But the war years and the killing years wore down my soul as the wind wears stone into sand. Neither dead nor alive, I became undead forever. Oh man, we are here again, as we always are, Monday night at the Emerald Dragon. Welcome everybody to another evening full of splendors. We will see what awaits us tonight. So we are playing Curse of Strahd, everybody.
Gonna say there's splendors tonight?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
I've never seen a splendor.
That would be nice.
If you're lucky, I'll throw in one or two. But if you're not, you know what will happen. You guys, are you so excited for another session in Barovia?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yes.
All right. I'm as excited as I am when I see Preston for the first time in 2 weeks. Every Monday at 5, just before our session goes live. So can we all just give Preston a round of applause?
Yeah, pastry
Yay.
Thank you. I am so pleased that you are pleasing to have me here.
As am I. Well, my friends, I think there are no major announcements to discuss, so we will just jump right in. In breaking with our usual tradition of myself providing the recap, I thought it would be interesting to, if anyone would like to volunteer to share their version of what happened in our last episode. And if no one volunteers, I'll just pick somebody.
Oh, shit.
Oh, you're that teacher.
Kaylie spoke first. That means she
No,
volunteers.
no.
She rebuked you. We all heard it.
Speech, Kaylie. Again.
No, I gave the speech last time.
I know.
Last
Well.
session.
Oh, I was actually going to do it. Do you want to do it?
I mean, go ahead if you would like to do
You
it.
can help each other if you want as
That's
well.
good. You can just correct everything I say wrong, because that's going to happen.
Should I roll a... Oh, no, I'm giving you advantage on the roll. Okay, it's fine. Go ahead.
There we go. I don't actually want to roll, because last time I did that, I got a nat 1.
On the morality check of all things.
On the morality check. Oh, Juniper. I believe last session we started off by having a meal with Lady Wachter, where she, to sum it up, basically asked us to commit treason and start a revolution. We chatted about it, decided that'd be great, decided to do that. I think some stuff happened in between there, like maybe we murdered someone and fed their body to a tiger. I really hope I dreamed that, but I think it actually happened. Who was Ezek, who had a doll that looked like Arena. That was weird. Following day, we went to this festival that was mandatory. It started off pretty chill. I gave a speech. He was lighting a giant ball on fire. Then shit hit the fan. The revolution began. I ran to go save his kid. You guys tried to control the situation. That didn't end up very well either. I believe it ended up with the Lord and Lady dead, and celebrations in the streets, and totally unregistered chaos. While I grabbed the son, who ended up being 17, so not as young as I expected, took him out into the woods, trying to save his life. Turns out, maybe not the greatest guy. Tried to cast a spell on me, then ran away, and I was upset. Then I believe we ended the session meeting back up at the tavern, and I think there may have been a comedian that was introduced. I don't... Do you guys remember?
You forgot all about Rictavio, the greatest man we have met yet in Barovia.
I may have been doing that on purpose.
Ah, he was very funny, man. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he may or may not own a tiger named Buttercup.
Much better than the name Ghost came up with.
What did Ghost come up with?
I do not remember. I think it was biscuit or something.
It
Oh,
was Rohan,
crumpet.
and it was waffles.
Ah, that is right.
Did I miss anything? Did I go too fast?
Well, the guy that we murdered was head of security for the whole village. So that was good. I think he was also... he was supposedly very strong, but he went down very fast.
We got very lucky. Rolled very well on initiative. Got a sneak attack.
Ghost is very good at the murder.
Concerningly so.
Yeah, I do
There's a
not
lot
know
of
about
murder in
that.
my
He is army man. Army man is good at that.
Yeah, him and Rohan might be a little more hardcore than I was expecting. The end?
The end.
Yes, I think that was a great recap. Thanks, Kaylie. We're gonna do another round of applause. Thanks,
Oh,
Kaylie.
God.
That was wonderful. I think you are our dedicated PR person for the Emerald Dragon, such as your expertise at public speaking, speech giving, etc.
I knew the theater degree was a bad idea.
Now you're stuck. But not the worst place to be stuck. Unless you're in Barovia and you're stuck. That is probably the worst place you could be stuck. And that is where we pick up tonight. The main festival was at high noon, took place. And the events that transpired, I'm going to say it only took up about 45 minutes or so until your current time here. So you guys had left for various reasons the town square while shit was hitting the fan and began you met up with one another outside of the Blue Water Inn and began heading over towards St. Andrew's Cathedral. That is where we picked up. That is where we pick up this evening. The rain is still coming down pretty heavily. Not as heavy as the moment that extinguished the flame at the festival. But you guys are walking along this wet and muddy road, getting rained on, heading towards the church. So pick it up from there, guys.
Manafaa, wait up. Where are you going?
To the church.
Why?
We need to make sure Irina is not injured. And the father.
Okay.
By the way, what happened in the square? Did they survive?
Hangings and burnings.
Oh, good. Well, nothing we can do about that. Let's head to the church.
So after only a few minutes walking down the road, you arrive once more at St. Andrew's Cathedral. And as you enter this room, you can see already this place is far more busy than your previous visits. Many scared commoners, children are gathered amongst the rows of pews. And as you look around, you can see near the orphanage door, Mrs. Belasco is like taking a head count. And once she's accounted for a child, she waves them on into the orphanage proper, just trying to diligently account for everybody. Irina is trying to calm the nerves of some of the commoners walking around, trying to console them. And same with Father Lucian. It seems like he's got a lot on his plate at the present moment. People are very scared. It's a very anxious environment which you enter.
Are there any injured?
Make a perception check.
I will make my way over to Irina, too.
Okay. Most of the people that have made it all the way to the church, they don't appear to be injured in any serious ways. It is like nearly on the other side of the town from where the events transpired. So you assume if there were grave injuries, then they'd probably be closer to the scene. Irina sees you, Ghost, and says, "Oh, hey, are you guys okay?"
Yeah, I assume we're all kind of crowd or around her. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, did you see what happened or hear what happened?
Yeah, I'm still trying to take it in. Trying to calm the nerves of these people. I don't really know how to process that. It seems terrible.
Yes, we are processing it as well. On an unrelated note, are there any other kids gone?
So far, they all seem to be accounted for. She looks at Mrs. Belasco with an eyebrow raised, and Belasco nods her head that it seems like everything is so far so good.
Manafaa? Anything else?
Away.
I think that can wait, Rohan, at least for a while.
Juniper, I enjoyed your speech. I mean, I guess with everything that happened, at least that was one good thing. The comedy show wasn't too bad.
Well, no, I suppose that Mr. Tavio's not that bad. Thank you. That's very sweet of you to say. Glad you're safe. Sorry that this happened. Yeah.
All right. Well, I have some duties to attend to. I guess I can just part by saying thank you so much for bringing me to this place. It seems like I've really found a home. I haven't felt this comfortable in a long time.
I'm glad to hear that, Irina.
Nothing about the orphanage or anyone seems suspicious? No leads on the missing children or anything at all?
Not that I've seen. Nobody's gone missing on my watch.
Okay.
I'd like to head over to Father Lucian when, like, he's in between people.
Sure. He sees your presence and breaks with the person he's speaking with. Oh, hello, Manafaa.
Father Lucian, I know that I am not a representative of the Morning Lords that you all worship here, but should you need any assistance, I would like to make myself available to you. I know this is a trying time.
It certainly is, Manafaa. I don't often get to speak with men of similar conviction and faith as myself. But I'd like to just tell you in confidence, perhaps you can offer some prayers to your God as well. My sister was hanged in the square this afternoon, and all my attention will go to these people, but I'm hurting very much as well.
Can you tell me her full name, Father?
My sister Lydia Petrovna.
I will do my best to ensure she is welcomed by the Morning Lord.
I thank you. Well, I'm very busy. We should chat later.
Of course. Of course. I will not take up any more of your time, Father.
He bows and exits to continue his duties.
I think as we're walking away from Irina, real fast, I'm just gonna grab her and just, real quick, dear. Are you familiar with anyone named Izek?
I've heard mentions of Izek. He's the commander, right, for the guard?
I believe so. I just was wondering if you had ever chatted with him or knew anything about him.
No, never. People just speak of him. Some of these I heard a woman come in the other day saying that this Ezek had imprisoned her son. Malicious unhappiness.
Of course. Thank you. Stay safe, and I walk away back to the group.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys would like to do in the cathedral?
Not in the cathedral now.
Okay.
If we like take a few steps outside, are things like in chaos still? Is there people running around and?
So when you look towards like down the road towards the town square, you don't have a clear sight of the square itself, but you can see there's smoke rising high, billowing at several points in that direction. And there are some commoners that have like walking in your direction, but then they just like go into their respective homes and things like that. I'd say it's safe to assume that there's probably some degree of chaos in the town square, but at this location, not so much.
Okay, fire's like a bonfire.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Last
go-
you remember leaving the town square, people were just burning buildings.
Oh, okay. We should go check that out, maybe.
Yes, I need to see if there are any injured.
I couldn't find Fiona. I was really hoping we could talk to her, because she's supposed to be leading now. Should we go back?
Honestly, to find her, probably check her home now. I assume that her staff would have whisked her away at the first sign of a angry mob with torches.
So straight there, or town square first?
I am going to the square. If anyone is injured, they will be in need of assistance.
I think we should stay together for now.
Not a bad idea.
Rohan, you
Dada.
coming? Yeah. Let's go.
Dada, yeah, I'll come. I'm not much of a healer though, but I'll continue our investigation later.
You guys walk back towards the town square, and you start to see the current state of Valaki.
Oh, God.
Pull you over to the map. There are several active fires going on. Some more severe than others. I'm going to say you're about here or here at the intersection. You can tell me where you'd like to go, how you'd like to reach the town square.
I think just...
Yeah, just following probably this road here to
The
avoid...
main path.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep. So yeah, you guys return to the town square. It's as gruesome as you might expect. There are several bodies strewn about the ground. It seems that like most of the action is done though, and there's like a new force you haven't really seen yet. They look similarly outfitted as the town guards, but these men are wearing red cloaks, and they are organizing what appears to be some sort of cleanup. You can see that the big wicker sun that was not lit has been repurposed underneath. And the scaffolding, the scaffolding is repurposed, and the wicker ball was set underneath, and they've started to stack bodies on top of it, presumably to burn the bodies once they're all stacked up. And you can see that there are several guards, and they're over by the stocks, and they're trying to break the cages. You can see that just like with an axe, like one guy's just trying to hatchet at this lock, but he's like, I don't know how to let these people out.
I will go over to the cages and just offer my assistance with my lockpick. See if they'd want me to try that.
Someone might have the keys. Whoever looted Ismark's body.
As Juniper starts to head off, I tap her on the shoulder, and I'll draw out the keys and hand them over.
Take them and walk over and just kind of dangle the keys in front of the guards and just motion if they want me to come forward.
Yeah, they signal you over. Would you like to hand them the keys, or?
I would personally like to try to unlock the cages. I'll try to find the key that fits.
Sure. Yeah, it doesn't take long. A couple tries, and you find the right keys that fit the locks. And some of the prisoners that are let out, they still have donkey heads plastered on them, but some of them that weren't outfitted with these heads, they actually, like, the moment you let them out, they drop to their knees and they start, like, trying to kiss your feet.
Oh no, I take a few steps back and I just like bend down and grab their shoulders and pull them up, and I'm like, you don't do that for anybody, you hear me? Anybody.
They just say, "Thank you, bless you, bless you." It's like women, some children in there, and several men as well. The folks with donkey heads, the guards are working to saw those off. And the prisoners have been released now. And that was one of Fiona's immediate mandates.
Do I see the young man that Manafaa and I saw get taken away when we were at the burgomaster's house?
Yeah, he is one of these in the cages.
Okay, so we can probably assume these are all the prisoners. There's no one else in the burgomaster's house or at other jails.
This is definitely the primary jail. I can say that much.
Okay. I will take out one of my water skins and start handing it to the children. Let the children start to drink. And then I'd kind of like to pocket the keys smoothly. Just make it look like I'm supposed to keep them. I don't want anyone to take those.
Okay. Yeah, I think with all that's going on, no one's going to be paying you too much mind now that these folks are being let out. And they're being attended to. The folks with red cloaks seem to be actively working to comfort the crowd and restore order. You can see some of them are like carrying water buckets, trying to attend to these fires, and there's a lot going on in this town square, as I said.
I would like to get the attention of one of the red cloaked figures, doesn't really matter which one, just one of them.
All right.
And, pardon me, sir, I am a healer. Are there any injured?
Yes, we have a couple men injured right over there. You can see there is like several men laid out, some women caught up in the madness as well. And there's one guy trying to act like a doctor, and they're trying to perform like some triage together. It doesn't appear that medicine is necessarily their strong suit.
All right, I'll head over and how many injured are there?
Appears to be 6 injured people.
Okay. I will
That are,
get
like, injured beyond just like a knock or bruises or whatever.
Yeah. So the 2 that are trying to attempt triage, I'm gonna get them back. Like, stop. I will help. And I will use my last 2nd level spell slot to cast Prayer of Healing.
All right.
So that will be 2d8 plus 6 hit points to all these individuals.
Cool.
I'm gonna grab one of the guards and just ask, do you know where the Lady Fiona is?
She is being kept safe at an undisclosed location for the time being, although she intends to address the crowd later on.
later on, like in a few hours, or?
That's also undisclosed for her security.
We're not the crowd, so I don't know. Maybe one of you can send a message to Fiona. Tell her that her agents would like to speak with her at her earliest convenience.
Sure, we'll get a message. Get a message sent out. We can do that. Her agents, you say?
She shouldn't know what it means. We're kind of an eclectic group, I guess.
All right. Well, all these folks with the red cloaks that you see now are also Fiona's agents. You can refer to us as the Red Guard. We are the new security force within Balaki.
So after that 18 hit points to all of those injured individuals, if there are any that are still looking bad, I still have 4 first level spell slots, so I can kill them.
It's miraculous actually. Like these folks have suffered grievous injuries, severe stab wounds, like lungs punctured, legs chopped off, things like that. And the power of your magic seems to revitalize them completely. A lot of them are sitting up now and just like feeling their head. Like, I know I just got hit by a brick. Like, where's the blood? It seems to be highly effective, Manafaa.
Then I'll just stand from my position kind of central there and give a slight bow and head back to the group.
All right. Manafaa, as you're heading back to the group, none other than Lady Fiona comes strolling down the street, much to your surprise. She's escorted by 2 men in red cloaks on either side, and she's got a smile on her face.
That was quick.
Yeah. An undisclosed time. So, she approaches you with these 2 men and takes a deep breath. The sweet smell of liberty. Great job, you guys. How do you feel?
I was hoping to avoid more violence than ended up happening, but overall success.
I certainly agree with that sentiment, but this is a day that Barovians will never forget. And it's important because as we move into the future, we'll hold this with us and never take for granted the freedom which we'll now experience.
Indeed. I believe that Juniper has finalized the release of the prisoners, at least in the stocks. If there are additional places prisoners may have been kept, we will need to go there, but...
This is the only cell that we have here in Balaki, the only holding area. The Burgomaster was rumored to maybe keep prisoners in his home. I've never been able to verify this rumor. There's a possibility.
I fear it is too late for that then.
Yes, I've been informed that a great portion of his home was burned down. It remains to be on fire.
Yes, although if they were underground, I suppose there is a chance. We will hold to hope.
Would you mind investigating this matter for me?
I will.
Okay.
I believe that Rohan and Ghost were looking to speak with you.
Gentlemen?
Well,
Kaylie had enough of this crap.
yeah. Take that, Fiona.
Pardon these minor camera-based technical difficulties. Although we can still see everybody's face, so it's working out.
I'm totally fine just continuing.
Okay. So are these fires taken care of? It seems like the town is in chaos right now. What is your first move as leader?
Well, we'll put down these fires, get everything under control once again, and we have bodies that need to be burnt. We'll do so in a ceremonial type of way.
What was that, sorry?
Bodies,
Bodies.
yes. As you can see, they're being prepared right over here.
Is there anything else you require of us?
Oh, Kaylee's back. I don't believe so. You guys held up your end of the deal. I have my forces working on my end of the deal. And I believe that's that. Thank you from the deepest part of my heart.
You can thank us by making this town a better place.
Well, I believe it's a better place already, but we will continue working on it.
Did you know anything about the burgomaster's son?
Yes, terrible, kid. Terrible. I told you what happened to my daughter, right? They were to be wed. She came back insane.
Right.
You didn't tell us it was the son's problem or his fault.
Well, she was meant to be wed to the sun, it could be assumed.
It's their family's fault. And my poor girl might never be the same. But I think we've... perhaps we're even now. Would your group happen to be called something? Do you call yourself something?
At the moment, I believe we're going by outliers. Subject to change.
Well, that's a good name. That's a good name indeed. So, whether or not you intend to attend the ceremony later, everyone shall know this. She takes a few steps away from you, like towards the center of the square, and says, "Everyone, may I have your attention, please? May I have your attention?" And people stop what they're doing and look over. She says, "I present to you Manafaa, the savior of Vallaki, and the outliers."
Ghost claps.
Yes, you do get some applauses.
I don't clap.
Chosen one.
Monifa's like goes from like just stunned face, just like what? And then like looks around, sees everybody looking, and like gives like a half bow just out of reflex.
Fiona walks up to you, Manafaa, and places one hand on either shoulder and looks at you directly in the eyes, and she says, "Manafaa, you truly are the savior of this town, and the reason why the sun will shine here once again."
I concur.
I know you must get strange looks wherever you go, but to me, you are a symbol of beauty, and you will always be welcome here.
I hope that I can continue to live up to the way that you see me. Thank you.
She falls back in rank with her two guards and they start walking over to address some of the recently freed prisoners, just to start speaking with the people now. And now that it's calmed down enough and emotions have sort of tempered a little bit, leaving you guys standing in the middle of the square.
It feels
Gentlemen,
weird. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know what else you want to do, but there's one thing I want right now. It is a very, very stiff drink. Do you think we can continue any conversations at the nearest tavern?
I was gonna say the same thing. It feels weird to do anything right now. This is such a huge event that's just taken place. We can't just go about our small little things.
Is it possible that maybe we should investigate the situation at the stockyards?
I never want to go back there.
I would love to check in on Buttercup. Let's go, Rohan. We'll meet them at the inn.
Okay. Been thinking about Buttercup all night.
Don't do anything stupid, you two, please.
What? We never do anything stupid. How? I can't believe it.
The audacity of you, Juniper, to think that they would. And Manafaa can't keep a straight face, and he just starts cracking up in the middle of that sentence.
Yeah.
Juniper just stoic face, just not smiling, hasn't smiled this entire time, just turns around and starts walking towards the inn.
I hold I hold Rohan accountable, and he holds me accountable. It's fine.
Don't worry, we'll take care of each other, kind of.
Yeah, we never do anything stupid.
Before I leave the square, I would like to do one more thing. I would like to go up to one of the red cloaks and just ask, pardon me, if a list of the deceased, once everything has calmed down, is compiled, I would like a copy of it, please.
Sure. We intend to keep very detailed records in this new day in
Of
Vallaki.
course.
So pick those up from Wachter's residence. I'm sure they'll be ready within a few days.
Thank you very much. And I will return to the inn.
So Juniper and Manafaa to the Blue Water Inn, and these scoundrels are going to the Arisek stockyard.
Just quick
Yep.
check to see if the
Yeah,
tiger
just a
is
quick
still
check.
there.
What could go wrong? So you guys walk only 5 minutes or so to the east and arrive in the daylight, the Arisek stockyard. Things look a little bit different, but it's, it's muddy, blah, blah, blah. And the cart, which you remember, is still in the corner of the yard.
Go check it out.
Nobody here. Interesting. Oh,
He took his horse. He didn't take his tiger.
it's probably because the wagon was so full.
Full of bones. We could just pin this whole thing on Rictavio if anyone's suspicious. We could pin the whole revolution on Rictavio.
Rohan, he goes up to the cage and kind of like knocks on the side. Buttercup, are you there? Oh, he scared me. Oh, little devil. Does he see like anything inside? Nothing? No bones, hopefully? Can he see
Make a
inside?
perception check. The windows on the side are only like maybe 8 inches tall, and they're like at the very top of the wagon.
But I'm on my tiptoes.
No problem for you. As I think, what it would require, so you kind of like feint one side and get Buttercup to be like scratching and going crazy at one window, and then you go back to another one just long enough to get a glance at the floor. There are some bones at the bottom of the wagon.
Okay. Well, nothing decipherable. I think we're good here, Ghost. Unless you
think
want to
so,
say,
too.
yeah. Do you want to
Nope.
say anything to Buttercup before we leave?
I don't have that special relationship that the two of you have, but maybe someday.
Okay. Okay, Buttercup. We're going to go meet with the rest of our friends now. Oh yeah. I'll be right back.
All right. We'll add
Yeah.
that to the list of loose ends in my
Yes.
head.
Oh, I'm going to give a ration to Buttercup. Just I have 8 of them anyway, so Rohan's gonna toss a ration pack in there.
Sure. All right. You the wagon rocks side to side violently as you assume he's taking your ration and just started going crazy with it.
Seen Buttercup. Okay, let's go, Ghost.
We head back.
All right. So, Manafaa and Juniper, what were you doing during this time as you arrived back at the Blue Water Inn?
I will head straight to the bar if Danica's there. Is she there or is she out revolutioning?
I believe that when we stopped by before, the whole family was here.
Correct. Yep, they're still there too. A couple of commoners have kind of wandered in as well. Like, give me that purple grape smash, please.
I go straight up and I'm like, darling, the wine is delightful, but please tell me you've got some stronger spirits back there.
I'm afraid not. No, wine is our only drink of choice here, as well as in Barovia.
All right.
You know what that means, Juniper? And Manafaa puts a hand on your shoulder. It just means you need to drink more.
Well, I reach into my bag and I pull out one of my empty water skins and I hand it to her. How much would it cost to top this?
I'll do
You know
it.
what? Just do it. just do it. I'll pay whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just maybe 2 gold pieces will be great.
Done.
Yeah, she tops off your wine skin. And anything for you, Manafaa?
A glass for me, please.
Sure
And
thing.
I'll also take a glass. This is for later.
Okay. Oh, you guys might buy me out tonight.
That's my plan.
All right.
So,
yeah.
Sorry. Is there a fireplace in the like common area?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are there seats near it?
Yeah. Like 2 tables kind of nearby.
All right, sweet. Because like cleric vestments plus an hour of soaking rain, I'm just like a wet rat of a tiefling.
Yeah.
And I am a fluffy cat, so I am just like soaking wet.
Yeah, dang. You guys both have a similar physique when you're soaking wet. It's interesting.
I assume like once we sit down at the fire, I just start going at the wine glass and put it down and I look at Manafaa in the eye. I don't know what we've done.
I mean, it is pretty obvious what we've done.
Yes. I don't...
The question is what comes next, and for that we have no idea. We never know.
I feel like I've lost track of what I need to find. And now I have no idea what we're trying to do here, and I have no idea if we're doing the right thing, and I don't know if I care. I think I want to leave.
Do you want to leave, or are you just trying to run? Because you don't want to see what comes next.
Could very likely be that one. And if I'm trying to run, then so be it. I'm trying to run.
Eh, the running is only good up to a point.
Like, it does get exhausting after a while.
And you will be forever not knowing.
The only thing I really want to know about are where the children are, and then I can go. And I will not hurt if I never see this place again. Manafaa, there was too much death these past few days. I could handle Isaac, I could handle the Burgomaster. I can't handle what else we've done.
In the business that we pick, death will always follow. That is the truth.
Especially for me. And I finish the wine glass, and then I go back up, grab another one, come back.
Look, I know you want to run, I know you do not want to see what happens here, but at some point it is better not to wander. You cannot ignore the places that you have been and the lives that you have touched forever, whether that is good or bad.
I also can't ignore my wife or my daughter.
No. What I am saying is that maybe we solve the mystery, we leave here, we never come back. But maybe we do come back, and maybe we come back to find that things are not better. Maybe they are. We do not know. I think that it is better not to wonder. If you run from answers forever, then the what happened, it stays in your head.
Manafaa, have you ever heard the phrase, curiosity killed the cat?
Ah, that is one of your Faerun sayings. I like it.
Yes.
But
I appreciate.
That is what I'm saying too. Get rid of the curiosity. Have the answer. It's concrete. Yes, maybe we did good thing. Great. Maybe we did bad thing. Not so great, but at least we know and we can fix. You know?
I don't know if I care to fix it. I don't. And I don't know if that makes me a bad person.
About this time, the doors of the Blue Water Inn open up. You might be expecting to see Ghost and Rohan walk in, but not so. You see a really, really fat man walk through the door that you've not seen before. He's got several rolls under his chin, two sides of mustache not connected in the middle, and like kind of a goatee. His hair's unkempt, and he's soaking wet. Walks up to the bar top, and Danica says, "Oh, Bluto, I haven't seen you in days. Man, welcome back. How was your fishing trip?" And you can kind of overhear he's just like, kind of like mumbles some stuff. And she's like, "Oh, great. Sounds like you had a lucky time." And she says, "Sure, we'll bring you over some food in just a few minutes. Why don't you go take a seat at your favorite spot?" And he kind of like waddles over to his spot, sits down, just kind of surveys the room a little bit, not paying anyone too much mind.
Juniper. That is our guy, yeah?
I believe so. Wasn't he supposed to be... Well, I suppose fishing trips don't last forever.
Yes.
Should we wait for the others?
I do not see why not. I also, to be completely honest, have been so caught up in all of today's happenings, I don't remember why we were going to talk to him.
I will also be completely honest. I have the exact same problem. I feel like that might be Ghost's area of expertise.
Danica brings over a plate, got some beet soup, some wolf steaks, and a couple goblets of wine for the gentleman. And he starts to dig into his meal just as Rohan and Ghost arrive.
I don't know. Now that he's your tiger, I think his name should be Waffles.
This is a good name, but Buttercup is so classy. Maybe
Yeah,
you
but
think
I
we could
like
ride her?
Waffles. I don't know. It's got a ring. Oh, hey guys.
We're not keeping it.
Oh,
What?
yes.
Said we not.
Are any of you a druid? Like, it's a tiger.
It's in the cart. We can get horses and pull the cart. He'll get used to us eventually.
Yeah, you
Rohan.
didn't see this time with Rohan. They've really formed a connection, and Rohan was able to tame it, and it was much different than the last time around.
Hey,
Rohan,
Dada, yes.
Are you one of the rangers that can speak with animals?
Нет, no. I didn't pick up that skill, unfortunately.
That is sad.
My cousins can, but you know, I've had some pets, a couple guinea pigs, a hamster, and the dog once. So I think I'm qualified to handle this.
If you add all of those up, it is probably equal to one tiger, yes?
Yeah.
But,
Don't worry, guys.
you two. And I kind of pull you both a little closer. You see the large man over there?
Who can't?
Go
on.
That is our fisher friend.
Ludo?
Yes.
Oh. What did we want to do with him again?
Ghost, we were hoping you would remember.
Oh yeah, well something about a good luck charm. That's all I remember.
As you
Shit.
observe the gentleman, he cuts off bits of his steak that are maybe 2 to 3 times the size as a normal person would and just like stuffs them in his mouth. Even if they're larger than his mouth, he like pushes them to make them to go the extra distance.
That's impressive.
Got like steak juice running down his chin.
Ambitious eater. I like him.
So do none of us remember why we needed to talk to this man and why we were about to take the trip to the lake to do it?
We were looking for leads, we didn't have any, and the only thing besides him being the drunk, being at a lake, and being missing for several days is something he's always talking about his good luck charm. So we could ask him why he was missing for several days, and we could ask him about his good luck charm, but he's back. I don't know. Juniper, you're good with people. He was so charming.
I'm just sitting there sopping wet, having a mental breakdown, just like, yes. Well, I could try talking to him, but I don't really have a direction to go.
As you guys continue to observe him for several minutes longer, he completes his meal. Danica comes over, clears his plate. He's just sitting there. He's completed one of the 2 goblets of wine, starts working on the second one. He places the goblet down on the table and sort of rustles through his bag a little bit. And he pulls out and holds in 2 of his massive hands a small tin tray. Appears to be a pastry of some kind. Kind of like smells it, but decides to wait a moment. Puts it on the table in front of him.
We gotta go talk to him.
I will go
That is
talk to him.
interesting. I go with Rohan. He needs some optimistic backup. Hey, Rohan, Rohan, wait, don't speak to him just yet. Hold for 2 seconds, okay? And I go to the bar and I order 2 more glasses of wine. And once they're up, I will go over to the bar and I go over to Bluto's table, kind of look at Rohan and signal him to come with me. Place 1 goblet of wine in front of Bluto.
Hello, Fisher of Man.
Oh dear. We're smooth.
Before I respond as Pluto, just for reference, there are like 7 other commoners kind of at other tables. It's kind of a full night here in the Blue Water Inn, busier than previous nights. Bluto looks at you and he just looks confused. Hello.
Oh no. Good afternoon. Evening. Honestly, who can tell anymore? Could you use some company tonight?
I hear you're a feature of Min. How was fishing lately? Oh, indeed, yeah. Yeah, the good catch, eh? Yeah.
Ah,
Pretty good.
Do you catch the fish and then sell them, or do you? I mean, it doesn't look like you cook them, obviously. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's steak and that's good meat, huh?
I look at Rohan. I'm impressed. I'm just going to let him keep talking because I don't know how to talk to this guy.
I was wondering, sir. You had a very interesting dessert there. Is there any chance you could fill me in? Tell me where you got that. You just so. Was she at the lake when you met her? It's here. Oh. We have actually, me and my companion here, we traveled from that town over there. I can't remember what the hell. Barovia, yeah, Barovia over there. You know, that town far away. And they were selling the pastries there. Oh, they're so delicious. But we can't find them here. So
he pushes over the pastry and offers it to you.
Are you sure? Oh, good sir. Thank you. So
You haven't tried it yet?
Picks up his wine goblet and takes another drink of that.
Me and Rohan's gonna throw down 3 gold pieces on his table. Let me pay for your drinks for the rest of the evening, for this pie and for information about where you found it. So I appreciate it.
He signals for one more over for Danica. She brings over another round for each of you.
Oh.
And he just says,
Let's drink to that then.
The good luck charm.
Oh yes, yeah, no, I will drink to that. How do I bring this up? Rohan looks over to Juniper like.
I just kind of put my arms on the table and I look at him and I'm like, so, fish, quite a lucky catch. Did you do that all by yourself? Did you have someone helping you? Oh, you're big and strong. Oh, yes, absolutely. You're one of the strongest men I've ever seen, for sure. Do you have... What makes you so strong? What do you have? What makes you so luckily strong?
he holds up a wine goblet.
Poor man's lucky charm.
The drink is fierce.
Mm-hmm. I can't handle this guy.
Well,
I just look at Rohan and
I will leave you to your drinks. Thank you for the pie, and thank you for telling me where you found it. It's here, I believe, is what you said. So, I bid adieu. Nice.
He pulls motions Juniper to come a little closer.
I do.
Yeah, you can. He smells like sweat, BO. and heavily. You can smell the fumes of the wine as he's trying to speak with you, like 6 inches from your face.
Oh, good. I try to keep my most flirtatious smile on my face that I can. I get closer.
Bad luck. Bad luck.
Yes, rope like that.
Fishing. Fish. Bad luck. Woman. She needs something. Little.
A little woman.
I give her. I give woman. She give me good luck. Best fisher.
This wasn't the same woman who did the dream pies, was it? The little pastries.
She.
What did you give her? You gave her
Small. Oh. Little kid.
you gave her a kid?
Nah.
Oh, well. That's well worth the luck then. Was it your kid?
No.
Where can one acquire one of these children to get so lucky?
They're everywhere.
Where did you pick up yours?
He points over towards the orphanage, and he says, Vistani.
The Stani child. Well, I'm glad you've got your luck. I hope you remain as lucky as you are now. For your sake.
Rohan, when he said Vistani child, it kind of piqued his interest a little bit. He was turning around to walk back to his comrades with the pie, and then he stopped. He turns back around, looks at this guy. He's actually going to pull out his swords and kick the fat bastard down to the ground.
Make a strength check, please.
I was trying to be
Advantage
charming.
because he's sitting
With advantage because he's
and he's
fat.
eating. Alrighty. Oh god. Oh wait, one more. Ah.
Well, a 10 would be enough to do it. His eyes, which were so heavily weighted down by booze and cellulite, are as wide as could be. It's like a timber, and it's just like a loud thud. Everyone in the tavern looks over at you.
And he's got his foot pressed down on the man's chest, and he says, "Did I hear you right, fat man? Did you say you sell Vistani children?" Rohan slaps him because he keeps grunting.
I don't stop him. I was trying to be civil, but I have no love for this guy. And I step back.
Yeah.
Use your words.
He places his hand on one of his fat rolls on his neck and kind of like pulls it down. Yes, I sell Vistani child sometimes.
To who? And to where?
She said she would give me good luck if I gave her a child. I stole a child and I gave it to her, and she gave me good luck.
Rohan's knife is getting a little closer to his neck. Where do you meet this woman?
She approached me when I was on my way to the lake, but I delivered this child to a windmill.
Ghost.
Yeah, I'm here.
Don't I'm not saying to shoot Rohan, but I do not think we should murder a man in the middle of an inn.
Danica's looking on shocked, and so are several patrons. Like the tension is super thick, and everyone's wondering what's going to happen next.
I want to walk up to Rohan, and I just kind of want to grab him by the shoulder and just say, this man deserves to die. But like Manafaa said, in the middle of a crowded inn after a revolution might not be the best time.
Or
Rohan,
the
come with
best
me.
time.
Rohan, I grab him and pull him up to his feet and start dragging him towards the town square. And I said, throw me the keys.
What?
Just give them to me.
I
hold
do.
my hand up. Okay.
I toss him the
Rohan,
keys.
come on. And I escort him to the town stockade and throw him in it.
He's not going to go willingly, and he's very fat. Make a strength check.
Just the way I like them to resist.
Ew.
Not in that way. Is this athletics?
Sure. You're able to move him like a few inches, but it seems it's very difficult.
Rohan, he's fat. Help me out. Will someone help me?
Just an idiot. I'm not going to waste any more time with him. Rohan looks a little pissed, so he's gonna walk off somewhere.
As he's lying on the ground after Ghost tried to pull him, his shirt is lifted up and his huge belly is like pouring out onto the floor on either side.
No.
Well, maybe we can't get him there, but this man deserves to be dead or arrested.
We can talk to Lady Wolka about it. For now, just let the fat man cry. Let him run.
Erwin Mardukov comes up from the front. He's been notified. What is going on in here? What are you guys doing with this man?
This man trades children to witches. This man is the worst type of person that you can imagine. This man, if you have a place to hold him, please do, because he... not great.
Make a persuasion check, Juniper.
I'm good at those. If it's a nat one, I swear. Okay.
He says, I believe what you're saying. Get him out of here.
Will you help me carry him, sir?
I'll carry him right out to the front steps, but you got to take him after that.
Okay.
We have a business to look after here.
I look around the room, and Ghost musters himself and says, is any Valachian here brave enough to put this man in the stockade and bring him to justice?
Make a persuasion
Will
check.
help me carry him. What was that?
Persuasion check would be great.
Okay. Whoa!
Oh my god. That's perception.
Oh! But persuasion is 0, so it's 19.
All right. One man stands up. He's a bald fella, pretty brawny guy, wearing like wolf skins. He's like, I guess I'll do it. Name's Zoldar.
Well, thank you, Honorable Zoldar. Let's drag him.
You and Zoldar drag his fat ass out the front door of the Blue Water Inn. And
Rohan.
yeah,
Go on. I was gonna say Rohan was standing by outside the front door. He just sees this guy rolling out of there.
right. Yeah, you guys like kick him down the front steps. He just like lands face first in the mud. You guys continue dragging him. I assume you're gonna drag him all the way to the town square. It's pretty far.
I will
Make
do it.
him walk.
I don't don't know if he can. Well, we'll shove him and roll him and let him walk, whatever.
All right. Well, ultimately, you succeed in your quest. You get some strange looks pretty much the entire time. As you approach the stocks, one of the red-cloaked gentlemen looks at you, says, "What's this all about?"
Are you with me, Rohan?
Yeah.
Okay. This man confessed to stealing children from the orphanage and selling them to witches. So we're going to put him in the stockade until Lady Fiona decides his fate.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Throw him in the stocks.
Aye, aye, sir. Go and put him in the stocks. Lock him up.
All right. Yes, Fat Bluto is now in the stocks, locked up securely.
Feels much better.
Outside of
Now
the
we left
tavern, it
we
didn't
left-
seem that this man had any potions with him.
Yeah, sure. We'll check him to see if he has anything on him.
Oh, I was responding to Preston's whisper.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he had a pack back at the Blue Water Inn for sure. That was left behind.
As I see them pushing him out, I will take the pack and I will start looking through it.
All right, so just to recap the scene here, so everyone's looking on very worried about what the events transpiring. This fat guy gets accused of stealing children, and you're confronted by the owner of the establishment, Erwin Mardikov, and you guys ultimately drag this fat man out as there's many onlookers, and Juniper runs over to the fat man's pack and starts rummaging through it in front of everybody.
I look around the group and I just, yeah, that man is a child murderer. There's nothing else to see. Back to your drinks. Now.
Would you like to make an intimidation check, Juniper?
Could it possibly be persuasion? Or is that more intimidation?
Until you added a
Until I added it now.
capitalized now with an
Wow.
exclamation.
Yep. All right. Okay.
The few people that were leering the hardest, their eyes get a little wide and they immediately divert their eyes and just start like looking at their hands and anywhere else.
I move back to Manafaa and I put the bag on the table. Manafaa, who is very clearly pinching his brow.
This is what Manafaa is doing.
And I just kind of tap his hand. Hello, are you with me?
Well, I mean, as in your proximity, yes, I am.
Well, I mean, I'm not exactly excited that they did that, Ghost and Rohan, but he's a child murderer, so I don't have much pity for him. And I'm going to start looking through the bag.
Accused.
Admitted himself.
Admitted that he gave children to the Windmill. That is all that we know.
And I have no sympathy for someone who could do that to a child.
Do what to a child? Yes,
Sentence it to death.
We have suspicions. We know nothing.
Manafaa, when was the last time trading a child for luck was a good thing?
Oh, I mean, no, it's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. All I am saying is that for all we know, the child is alive and well and being taught how to make pastries. Do I think that? Probably not. No, I do not think that. But we do not know for sure.
I'm willing to take my chances here.
Very well.
Bag.
Are we back?
I maintain my right to pinch my brow at you.
I accept that.
Yes, Ghost, Rohan, and Zoldar return back to the Blue Water Inn. On the way back, Zoldar informs you that he's a local wolf hunter.
I would like to go up to the bar and just give Danica and her husband just 15 electrum pieces. Just like, I'm very sorry for the ruckus and the chaos being brought into your bar. It was my party, so I feel responsible. Here is at least some form of apology.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. We do try to run a very tight establishment here. This is a very respectable offering, and sounds like at least the motivations were well placed.
Indeed.
All right,
All right.
everyone. We did something good. Now we can celebrate.
Did I find anything in the bag?
Yes, in the bag.
Hey.
There is some fishing gear. Some like a small jar of live worms. There's some fishing line. A collapsible. That's pretty much it. He doesn't even use a rod and reel. But maybe why he didn't have so much luck before. A change of clothes and 2 more dream pastries.
Oh boy.
That reminds me, give me those.
I am going to make a wisdom saving throw because I don't know if Juniper's strong enough to resist. I just kind of look at Manafaa and I take the 2 dream pastries and without even looking, just throw them into the fire.
Good. That was my plan anyway. Now the third one.
Rohan actually, as soon as he got back to the tavern, he stormed up to his room, grabbed his pack, and stormed out of the tavern.
And that is where we will take a 5-minute break and come back and see what is happening next. That was a lot of exciting stuff there, guys. We'll be back shortly. Oh man, my mouth is full.
Good planning.
But we're live here at the Emerald Dragon. I'm just finishing up some wolf steaks, some beet soup. Damn, these things are good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Erwin always puts the perfect sear on those wolf steaks, man. I tell you. So, there was a big commotion. Big drunk guy found to be exchanging children for luck. Our party took him down to the stockyard, or to the stocks rather, threw him in. He's in jail. They returned. They're in the tavern. Rohan rushed up to his room, grabbed his pack, left the tavern. That's where we resume. Take it away, guys.
So because the stairs are on the outside, we would only have been able to spot him when he was actually moving along like the balcony to the room, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
I saw him veer off, though, right?
You saw what?
Did I see Rohan veer off when I got to the entrance? Because we were going together.
Yeah, we were together.
I assume that you would have noticed him not following you.
Okay, well, I might suspiciously go wait by the corner. I
I mean, I think as soon as I see Rohan step out of his room with his bag, I'm assuming we probably see that. I'm gonna get suspicious. I'm gonna go wait at the bottom of the stairs for him.
No problem. Yeah, it's not a very. It's a pretty conspicuous thing to walk along the upper levels of this place. It's wide open.
And Rohan's being pretty loud. He sounds pissed off.
Okay.
Yeah,
As soon
I'll
as I
follow
see him-
Juniper.
Yep. As soon as I see him walking down the stairs, I'm just gonna. Okay, what are you doing?
I'm going to the lake. I will meet you all there when you decide to show up.
What
I
is
don't know.
Why the lake? What are you doing?
Fat Man said he met the woman on his way to the lake. If I go over in that area and I camp out surveillance, I might be able to find her.
By yourself?
Don't worry, I'm a ranger. I can hide well. I'll be okay. You guys can handle whatever you want here, and you know where I'll be.
Rohan, can you give us like an hour to talk about this?
No, I can't. I'm sorry. But I will be at the lake. So when you want to find me, that is where I'll be. And he's in...
Can
I
you
don't know.
give us 15 minutes to grab our shit?
You don't necessarily have to come. The lake isn't far. I will be there just doing surveillance stuff. It's
Rohan,
doubtful she'll be there.
If you plan on killing some old ladies who are kidnapping children and probably witches, I'm definitely going to be there. You are not going without me.
Don't worry, I will not kill anybody yet. I know you all want the taste of blood too, so...
Well, let's just go together then.
Fine. But I really would like to do some action right now. I'm very stressed and tense. And I didn't kill the fat man, because there's been too much killing on my conscience lately, but I need to do something.
Honestly, I do appreciate you not killing the fat man. I thought you would. Here.
I thought I would too.
Drink this, and I'll hand him my wine glass. Drink that while we pack our shit.
All right. It is nightfall right around now as well.
Perfect.
Just FYI.
As we're going up the stairs, I just look at the other two and I'm like, you know, this is a suicide run. Going out in the dark?
I don't know why we're going towards the lake. We should be going towards the windmill. That's where they live.
That's where they live, but that means there are more of them.
Shit. I mean, 3 of us against Rohan, do you think we could tie him to the bed and make him stay in at least until morning and then we can go? I mean, I don't care if Rohan wants to do this, but I care because he's 100% going to die if he goes by himself.
At least with all of us, there will be less chance of that happening.
Do we know anyone that could guide us out there? We don't know anything about this area. Do we have any acquaintances, any friends that would go with us this time of night?
We have a spy that is going to provide information about the windmill, I believe. We should go consult with Lady Fiona.
I do not believe you can convince Rohan of that. I mean, you are welcome to try. Go ahead. I'm going to put my armor on.
I mean, I might be able to cast a spell on him, but I don't want to do that to an acquaintance.
Rohan,
Yes, Ghost.
you know, before you go into battle, especially when you don't know when you're going up what you're going up against, sometimes it's good to tilt the odds in your favor as much as you can before the battle. Don't you think we should gather some intel from the people we have in town and make sure the whole party is together?
That's kind of what I'm doing. I am going out to get some intel. I'm not going to fight anything. I don't know why you guys think I'm going to just go up and fight anything that I see. I am a hunter, you know. Wolves.
Yes, and you could handle the 7 wolves by yourself that we faced when we came into town. By yourself?
Sneaky wolves. They won't find me. I sneak. Fine. Alright, you know what? If it makes you all happy, we can go first thing in the morning.
That makes me happy, yes.
Let's do it. No one wants to kill them more than me. Except maybe you equally, but yes. Let's do
At
it in the
first,
morning.
I didn't care, but now I do. So,
Sounds like we finally found something that we all care about. Let's go kill some hags.
Should we at least let Lady Fiona know why the local town drunk is in a cage in the middle of the town square?
We told her guards.
Aye.
But I
Well?
wouldn't mind going and talking with her to see if her spy's back. Do you want
It's
to
not a
go?
bad idea. Yeah, I don't mind going. Anyone else want to come, or do you two want to go get some rest? Rohan, I think you should get some rest.
no, I can't sleep now. I'll go with you.
Manafaa?
Manafaa comes down the stairs and no one's there.
I can cast a message.
I'm going to sleep.
Okay.
All right. It is like 5 p.m. or something. The sun just set.
I think we just go march straight to Lady Fiona.
All right. You go to her home.
Yes.
Yep.
Her lady in waiting, who you've seen multiple times now, informs you that she is not at home at the moment.
Can you tell us where she is?
I'm aware that she has several things to tend to near the town square.
All right. Oh, that'll be a fun surprise if she's there. Thank you. If she comes home, could you send a messenger to find us?
Of course.
Thank you. It is kind of a time-sensitive matter.
All right.
Turn around and go to the town square.
Yep.
As you guys return to the town square, there still is a bit of smoke smoldering from the fires, which are largely contained and extinguished by this time. The bodies which had been strewn about are tended to now, and you can see the fire has been lit already, and the bodies are consumed by flame, an ongoing flame that continues to be fed. In the glow of the firelight, you can see Fiona watching on with her two escorts.
I'll walk up to her and kind of tap her on the shoulder politely.
Oh, yes, Desdemona.
Yes. We... Rohan, do you want to take this one, dear?
We need information, and also we wanted to inform you that we have committed a fat bastard that is stealing Vistani children to the stocks. I must also let you know that it was quite difficult for me to stay my blade from slitting his throat.
You're sure of this?
He admitted it himself. He transferred a child to an elderly woman for a good luck charm. And he said he got them from the orphanage.
Huh, that's very interesting. Well, have you any personal stake in this?
Vistani children.
I missed that detail. Well, noble Vistani, I know that you have your own sense of justice amongst your people. If you'd like to finish him off right now, please feel free.
He might have more information, Rohan. That might not be the best idea.
I have not seen Mr. Larnack back we were under the impression we had several days on our timeline. So I do know there is a Vistani encampment just to the south of the town. If there is indeed a child missing, then perhaps this child would bear some relation to that clan.
Well, thank you, Lady Fiona. We're not totally sure what our next step is going to be. I think the one thing we want to do is make sure no more children get taken and traded. That might
Noble
mean we go
cause.
and...
Yes, then we share the same goals. Rohan, I must say, if you don't do it, he'll be dead by tomorrow.
I will take care of it. If
Very
he is
well.
going to die tomorrow anyways, he'd best die by a Vistani hand.
One of her escorts sees you over to the stocks where he's locked up, and they've changed the locks at this time. He opens up the lock and steps aside.
Rohan steps inside with him. I'll just let you know, the thing that I'm about to do to you does not bring me any joy. It does not bring me any comfort. You have wounded my family pride and hurt many others in the process. For that, a Vistani will kill you now. And in like a quick motion with his dagger, he just kind of lunges it up into the... Actually, no, it's going to be kind of hard. He's pretty big. He was going to try and shove his dagger into the guy's kidney. It's like right for that mortal spot in his side.
Yeah, make an attack roll. It's going to be extremely easy. Yes, that'll certainly do it. And go ahead and roll for damage. That is enough to see off Bluto.
Really close to his face when he did it.
The last thing you see, a drop of blood comes out the side of his mouth, and his eyes close.
It was a quick death. Little pain. He takes out his dagger, wipes the blood off, puts it back, and walks out of the room, doesn't say a word to anybody, and heads back to the tavern.
Very well.
I'll say goodnight to Lady Fiona and start walking with Ghost. I'll just kind of look at him and I want to make sure no more children get killed, but I honestly have no idea where to go from here.
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't feel like he was quite at fault. He was just a middle guy. I think I'll feel better once the true culprits are dead. But I guess one less monster in the world. I hope he understood what he was doing and not just drunkenly acted out and very foolishly. I don't know if he deserved to die in that manner.
Whether he deserved it or not, I'm getting tired of death being our constant shadow, a constant companion. Let's just get some sleep, try to wash the day away and see what tomorrow brings.
The rain picks up heavily, so you guys return to the Blue Water Inn. Retiring early this evening.
I will drink heavily from my wineskin. I want to get at least a little bit tipsy, and then I will go to sleep. And I will do it alone in my room, thinking about my wife.
All right. Quickly, if you'd like to say how you spend your the moments leading up to sleep. Start with you, Manafaa.
When Ghost and Rohan return to the room, they find Manafaa. He's got most of his vestments up, drip drying, so he doesn't have a shirt on, and he's performing one of his rituals, adding names to the scroll. And something you notice that you haven't noticed before is on one of his shoulders there are what looks like white tattoos in a script that you don't recognize, kind of moving down the arm. Looks like there's like maybe 15 lines.
Interesting.
Rohan goes over to Manafaa and says, kind of like taps his ledger. There's another name you have to add to that list. I'm going to bed.
The men from before, I assume.
And he just nods. Dada.
Very well.
Do you feel better, Rohan?
Feel better once we get the hags.
Me too. That death wasn't as satisfying as I thought it would be.
Manafaa, were you adding names from the book you found in the Durst Manor then?
Yes. As well as
I believe
as well as Lydia.
That would complete the final 25%. So you've now scribed each of the names there. There was really an astonishing amount of names that you've had to add over many nights. And of course, Lydia is now there as well. And Bluto. Ghost, how about you? Anything you'd like to do this evening?
Nope. Ghost is just gonna go to bed.
All right. And we've covered everybody then. Another another day down in Barovia. I think sleep comes in a difficult way for everyone. Maybe a little easier for Juniper after several cups of wine. You guys all eventually meet your rest and wake up in the morning around the same time with no special events taking place. You guys wake to the first light of the day. What would you like to do, Outliers?
Go take a trip to the stables and do a little target practice and do my morning ritual.
All right. Sounds good. Everything goes according to plan. No inopportune thunder cracks. However, as you lift up the vial today, it reminds you once again, like probably a week's worth was spilled out the day before.
It was?
About 5% of your vial.
Okay.
Say roughly 1% a day or a little less. What are the rest of you going to do?
I am going to get up, maybe a little hungover, don't know. Get dressed and just kind of knock on the boys' door, see if they're awake.
Come in.
I go in and I sit down on the bed, cross-legged, and I look at the two of them. Don't know if they're even out of bed yet, and just say, "All right, plan now. What are we doing?"
Rohan is gearing himself, and he says, "Well, the plan is either go south to the Vistani village, or outpost, ask around there, or go to the lake and do surveillance. We also have the toy maker thing to look into, so quite a busy day."
I do believe that the toy maker can wait.
Fair enough.
I'm not just worried about that.
Manafaa's like half armored at this point, and Juniper, you see on his shoulder the same white script tattoos that they saw the night before.
I make a mental note. I'm always down to some cheerful Vistani, but I think our chances are better of actually seeing something if we go to the lake, at least better chance of seeing the hags.
This is true. Because Bluto said he got the Vistani from the orphanage, so
Did he say that?
He did, yes.
I must have not heard because I was farther away.
I'm not sure what they... I mean, if it was a Vistani child, why would they be at the orphanage? And I'm not sure the Vistani camp would have much to do with that child anyways. I'm hoping. So,
To be frank, the Vistani sound much more fun, and that's something I could desperately use, but I would also like to leave the village as soon as possible, and I assume seeing the hags will help speed that along. So that's where my 2 cents lie. Is the lake.
Yes, besides, were you able to talk with this spy last night?
No, she said that she might need a few more days. They were under the implication that they had a few days.
Yeah,
And I think that's a fair. Yes.
I would agree. So maybe we go to the lake, we poke around, see what we can find. See if there is any information to be gathered. Come back. Maybe the spy is back. Put it all together.
Gentlemen, after this, we need to go on a vacation. Just saying.
That may be easier said than done. I'm doubting that there is anywhere in Barovia that does not have the clouds.
Well, she did mention a winery. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, departing to the north then. Very good. You're all armored up and geared up.
Yes.
I would love it if you got all the way to the lake and like, oh,
I'd have to go back and get your armor. Roll another nat 1.
Yep.
Okay, let me just double check how far away the lake is. Not too far at all. Oh, it's like a mile away.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's really close.
Let's go.
Yeah, so after you depart the northern gate, you can see the guards there are part of this new red guard, and they don't give you any trouble. You are able to leave, and after 10 minutes or so, you can see the lake. It's a really vast expanse of water up ahead after the trees clear out on either side. But in the road, about 10 minutes out of town, you see there is like a black object, roughly 4 feet wide, on the ground, laying motionless in the middle of the road.
I cast Mage Armor.
What is that, Rohan?
I assume since Rohan was taking up the lead, can I roll perception?
Please. Looks like a wolf.
I think it's a wolf carcass.
Dead? Huh.
I'll start moving forward, try and get a closer look.
Okay. As you get a bit closer, you can see there are 2 arrows protruding from this corpse. It's not moving. It looks to be a dead wolf.
Hey, perhaps your friend from last night, Ghost.
Wouldn't be surprised. Zoldar's a
Oh.
good man.
Did you stay up drinking with him last night, Ghost?
I did not, but I should have.
Seems like he might be a good person to know if we're gallivanting out in the wild. We can do that later. Does anybody need any arrows?
I cannot say that I do.
So wouldn't they gather the dead wolves? Whoever shot this, or do they just shoot them and leave them?
I would presume that you would bring them back because, you know, wolf steaks.
Yeah.
A good point.
Odd. Can I kind of do a 360 look around, check and see if I see anybody in the trees? Anybody close?
Make a perception check.
And I will check the carcass to see if it's trapped or has anything funny about it.
Or how
So
fresh
much
it
better
is.
this week. Oh, I should have checked that.
Don't jinx yourself. Juniper, you look around. You don't see anybody looking back at you or anybody hiding in the trees necessarily, but just kind of looking around, you do see like kind of some footprints in the mud leading up ahead.
Towards the lake.
Yeah.
Okay. I will make a note of that. Just mention that looks like our hunter is heading for the same direction. We should keep our eye out just in case he finds us an easy prey.
At least one pair, but perhaps multiple.
Rohan, this might be more your area of expertise. Tracking.
Rohan looks down at Ghost and says, how fresh is that kill? Can you tell?
I can try. Can I try, Mr. DM?
How would you like to discern this information?
I would like to use my intelligence to see the...
How would intelligent ghost go about surveying this dead wolf to see? I'm trying to assign a DC, but it might be more obvious with one route over another.
I'm going to look at the blood and see how old it is. Being
Okay.
very expertly familiar with lots of bleeding creatures.
I'm gonna call this a medicine check.
Hey!
All right. Well, you look at the blood very closely, and you're not getting too many signs, but the thought comes that you could like touch the wolf, and it's still warm. And when you feel the blood, it's still warm. So it would indicate that this was a very fresh kill.
Oh. It's fresh, Rohan. It's still warm. That's how I know.
Means that they might be watching us right now.
I didn't see anyone watching us, but we can probably assume if this is that fresh kill that they might already know we're here, so just be cautious, gentlemen. Keep an eye out.
Well, Rohan is going to check the tracks and possibly follow them a ways.
Sure.
Going to roll.
Yeah, a survival check will be great. All right. Well, they carry on a little ways up ahead on the road, but then you lose them. Seems the mud was a bit softer in this area. Firms up a bit up ahead.
Keep going.
Let's do it. I mean, it's weird that they left the wolf, but I'm not that worried about it.
Dada, like you said, Juniper, we might be walking into a trap, so stay frosty, folks.
As you guys continue forward with Rohan up ahead, Rohan, make a perception check for me, please. All right. You continue on, and you reach the banks of Lake Zarovich. It is a quite expansive body of water. Directly across the lake, you can see one avenue which is feeding the lake, one stream coming in, or it's actually a rather large river. And you can see at least one more off to the left side as well, and to the northwest. The lake is about 2.5 miles wide and about 10 miles long. It appears to be like black glass as you look at it, with very little movement on top of the water. And as you look across, you don't see anything that stands out on the lake itself.
Eerie lake.
It's very quiet out here, and it's a little bit. I'm gonna say it started out a little drizzly as you left Valaki, but it's pretty much cleared up to just an overcast gray day. A little bit of wind. Kind of a chill on your face as it comes off of the coolness comes off of the lake water.
Well, gentlemen, I believe we wanted to do a stakeout, so do we want to pitch ourselves up in the trees and wait a few hours?
Perhaps first we just do a quick check, see if we can find our men's boat.
That's not a bad idea, but I'm not going in the water.
You looking for Bluto's boat?
Oh,
All right. Make a perception check. Are you traveling along the bank in any particular direction?
I'll go left.
All right. So you guys are pretty much at the center of this on the lakeside. You go off to the left and a perception
Yes.
check. All right. So you're looking along the banks, looking for a boat-looking structure, and before you find anything that matches that description, you actually see some movement within the woods. There are two humanoid individuals, and they appear to be making their way out of the woods and heading in your direction.
Do they appear to be brandishing weapons, or do they appear threatening?
They don't have weapons pulled. They're a little far away, though, to make out.
Okay. We have some company, you three.
Joy. Try to
So-
keep it civil, gentlemen.
I always do.
After some time, you can see that it's two men approaching you, and they appear to have a complexion very similar to Rohan's complexion. Under their cloaks, you can just get a few glimpses of maybe some brightly colored clothing. And they approach you, and one of them says, "Well, hello there. We don't mean any harm."
Hello, are you two the gentlemen responsible for the nice kebabbed wolf over there?
Yes. Wolf came after us, and we had to put it down. Listen, have you seen, by chance, a little girl? We're on a search party.
Come over here, friends. Come.
They
Juniper,
both approach.
you got anything left in that water skin?
I pull out my water skin, which I believe is halfway full, and I just toss it to what I'm assuming are the Vistani.
It is
They
not.
look and they raise an eyebrow. They look towards Rohan, actually, to maybe catch a signal.
That is not water, it is wine. Rohan, would you like to?
It's completely safe. You can drink it. But
Brother Vistani, who are you?
yeah.
Who's your family?
I am family with the Mihais. We're actually not from Barovia. We're on the outside. We're monster hunters of the like.
I've heard a few stories about Mihai's. Very fearsome bunch.
That's what they tell me, yes. My first time here and my first time kind of being alone on the hunt. But, brothers, I have bad news for you.
Please tell us.
The other night, or myself and Ghost and some of my comrades, we committed a man to the stocks for informing us that he was trading a Vistani child to a couple of hags for a good luck charm.
Oh, it's terrible news. Arigel's gonna be pissed.
So I'm not sure if it's the little girl you're looking for, and unfortunately we cannot question the man since he was, well, I have killed him myself. He was sentenced to die today anyways, so I figured it'd be better if a Vistani took his life.
We would have done the same thing. Is there any chance she's still alive?
I couldn't tell you, honestly. That's what we're investigating right now.
And where would she have been taken?
To
The windmill. That windmill, yes.
She was taken from an orphanage in the town. How long has your little one been missing?
It's been several days now. She always used to sneak in to play with the kids at the orphanage, though. Please, follow us back to our camp. You should speak with Arigo.
Just as I've been watching this conversation, do I trust these two?
Make an insight check.
How far is the camp?
This guy says our camp is just to the south of Vallaki, but it's going to take a while. We have to go around. We're not welcome in Vallaki.
It's actually different now. You'll be fine as long as you're with us. We can travel through the town.
How could this be? We haven't been allowed in, and since I've been alive.
The burgomaster has been replaced. The new burgomaster is much more welcoming of your family.
Well, great news then. We can make great haste. Please, let's continue. Manafaa, they've given you no reason not to trust them. So you guys continue back another 20 minutes or so to the northern gates, and you exit towards the western gates, and this gentleman leads you along some trails that lead into the woods to the south of Vallaki. This whole journey takes maybe an hour. Is there anything you'd like to ask these or consult with these guys on the way back?
While we're traveling, Rohan just mentions that, these are his compatriots and temporary family or a replacement family at the time. He trusts everybody here with his life, so he would expect the same treatment to them.
All right. Well, Vistani's word is everything, so of course we trust you, brother.
Thank you. You can trust them.
Is it true that I'm sorry if this is too straightforward, but is it true Gregory slayed 6 werewolves while he was in Barovia?
That is what they said. I mean, my uncle was a fierce man.
He's a
I've
legend.
seen.
People talk about him all the time.
Oh, I didn't know he was a legend like that. Uh, I've seen him kill a couple things with ease, so I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh, wow. It's an honor to have a Mihai in our presence.
Please, I'm barely just trying to keep the name myself. I'm nothing compared to my uncle and other family members. But that's why we're here.
Well, forgive me for being so rude. My name is Ludovich. This is Losif. And we are part of the Kostarari clan.
Oh, and in return, I don't think I have introduced myself. Rohan, Mihai, obviously, and my compatriots. This is Ghost, just Ghost, Juniper Jet, and the golden illustrious god of Valaki, Manafaa.
Please never call me that again.
How did you get such a title, Manafaa?
Well, apparently the new burgomaster years ago had a dream, a prophetic dream come to her that the town of Valaki would be saved by a golden-skinned person. She claims this is me, very publicly. I am not sure if I believe it myself, but the town is different now, so maybe.
I've never seen a man with gold skin ever. I would be shocked if that was a coincidence, but I don't know anything about these sorts of things.
People of my complexion are still rare, but more common where I come from. It is, we come in all kinds of colors, red, lavender, green. I have even seen just all white, gray, black, every color of the rainbow. My people come in.
Well, that's interesting. I suppose this woman would have to wait maybe 1,000 years to meet another gold-skinned individual, but who knows what's going on. Why are you here in Barovia?
Honestly, you know as well as we do. The mist came, the mist took us.
Uh-huh. Is your plan to try and leave as soon as possible then?
For my companions, I think so. They have urgent business of some sort. I do not know. But for me, one wilderness is as good as any other to wander, I suppose.
This man Ludovich looks at you, Ghost, says, what about you? You trying to leave?
More than anything.
The other individual, Losif, looks at you. He says, I've got a potion for you. It'll get you through the mist.
I can take a potion and get home.
Yeah.
Do I believe him?
Make an insight check, Manafaa. It works every time. You just consume the potion and you walk right through the mist, and you can return wherever you'd like.
Ghost looks around to Juniper, to Manafaa. Ghost stops and looks at each of you.
I start chuckling.
Why are you laughing?
Bold claims from one who can come and go as he pleases.
Can I?
The
also-
outsiders hold this in high regard. We've sold many of these, and it's actually not very expensive. 50 gold pieces, and you can have one for yourself.
Well, haggle him down. Don't pay 50 gold pieces for that if you buy it. That's too much. 40 gold pieces.
Honestly, Ghost, just do not buy it. He's, what is the word you use?
A con man.
Oh, that is rude. I was
I'm
thinking...
offended.
No, I
I'm
would never
sorry.
imply
You insult my honor.
You insult my friend's intelligence.
Ghost intelligence? Are you
Honestly,
sure?
I'm not sure how much intelligence he has, but you're doing a very good job of.
Can I make an insight check as well? Oh, it's not good.
Make an insight check, Ghost.
12.
You don't know why they're objecting so much, and the 40 gold piece offer sounds pretty good. As Rohan's talking you down, this guy says, "Listen, you're a friend of a Mihai. 40 gold it is."
I didn't think he'd actually
and-
accept that.
And Ghost is pretty convinced that he's not lying.
Ghost.
Yeah.
Ghost.
No.
If there's one thing I learned in the port of Nyanzaru is if someone says something too good to be true, it's very likely is.
And where can I get this potion? You know,
I'll
we
get
have-
you one at the camp when we get there.
Well, as Rohan has told us many times, a Vistani's word is his bind and his honor. So I'm sure you wouldn't dishonor yourself.
Of
trust
course not. Of course not.
Rohan, are you really going to let Ghost do this? Really?
My brother here is savvy. I have nothing else to say about that.
I look at him right. I look at him right in the eye and get very close and say, "If you cross me, I will have to come back and kill you."
Big words. Do not worry, my friend. You will get through that fog and you will get home for a small price of 40 gold pieces.
While they're chatting, can I, for the good of Ghost, try to snatch his coin purse?
I don't think so. I don't think Ghost would have his coins out.
Okay.
You guys are continuing on anyways. This is a moving conversation. And eventually you reach this Vistani encampment when the woods finally part out to reveal an expansive clearing. There is a small grass-covered hill, with low houses built into its sides. There's some fog, which obscures the details, but you can see these buildings feature, as you get closer, elegantly carved woodwork, have decorative lanterns that are hanging from their sculpted eaves. Atop the hill, above the fog, is a ring of barrel-topped wagons that surround a large tent. The tent has a column of smoke pouring out through a hole in the top. The tent is brightly lit from within, which you can see now. And even at this distance, you can smell the odors of wine and horses that emanate from this central area. Ludovich says, "Please, come on. We have to meet Arigo."
Another party, huh?
You've been to a Vistani party then?
We have.
Well, you know we party like nobody else. All right, you guys walk and you get to the center of this area, to the big tent, and open up to see within. There are several empty casks of wine strewn about the grounds. But shortly after that amusing detail, you hear the crack of a whip, followed by the howls of a young man. Ah! There are 3 sputtering campfires that are filling this tent with smoke, and you see through the haze there are 6 Vistani passed out in various places on the dead grass. In the center of this tent, there's a pole, and there's a barely conscious, shirtless teenager. He's hugging the central pole. There's wrists. His wrists are bound with rope, and his back is streaked with blood. There's an older, larger man in studded leather that's lashing this young man with a horsewhip, causing him to scream again. Standing in the bigger man's shadow is a third man who steps in at this time and he says, "Easy, brother. I think Alexei has learned his lesson." What do you guys do?
And what lesson did Alexei need to learn?
These men look at you for the first time, actually shocked to see other people besides Vistani enter into the tent. They get on the defensive in postures at the sight of you, but then Ludovic and Losif approach, said, "Oh, Aragol, Luvash, these are some strangers, friends now. They've learned about Arabelle's whereabouts." One of the men, the smaller of the 2 men, turns to the larger and gives him a nod, at which time the larger man unbounds Alexei's wrists. The smaller man approaches you. He's got long hair. He's got a goatee, which is also extending long. And he says, "That's Vistani business."
Good thing we have a Vistani with us then.
So
Well, it was Alexei's duty to watch Arabelle, and he lost sight of her. So now he takes his punishment. Who are you? What news do you have for me? My name is Aragol.
Pleasure to meet you, Aragol. My name is Manafaa. These are my companions, Rohan. Would you like to give the news?
certainly. Well, there we go. As I was telling your other friends that just met us recently, we might have come upon the whereabouts of the child. See, a man was committed to the stocks last night. He is dead now. And he had informed us that a Vistani child was in his possession, and he had traded them to a hag for good luck charms at the Windmill.
Luvash, this other man, steps forward, the bigger man. "It's my daughter, Arabelle. Where she's at the Windmill, you say? The one everyone avoids."
At the Windmill.
She could be.
God,
We don't know if she's alive or dead.
we must go there at once. Strangers, will you help us fight and get Arabelle back?
We can lead the way.
We can take our horses. I will round up our men. Please, wait outside. You guys are shown out by Ludovic, Losif, Aragol, and Luvash take a moment within the tent, and Luvash ultimately comes out with 2 other Vistani. He looks around. The rest of the Vistani are drunk and passed out. He's like, "This'll have to do. We got our horses there. Let's ride." That is where we'll take a 5-minute break.
Here we go.
Yes.
Oh no!
Oh, we are back here at the Emerald Dragon, and we rallied the ponies, and we're ready to hit the road. It's battle time. So, you guys, still at the Vistani encampment, get directed over to an area where there's 20 or so draft horses just waiting to be ridden into battle gloriously. You each are given a horse, and the Vistani, without waiting to check your proficiency for handling these animals, they ride straight off to the east. It's a little bit slow after they get to kind of the wooded clearing areas, but you guys are just left to follow them. And once you hit the open road, it's a little bit easier to catch up, but they are moving at a high pace.
And they didn't give us any chance to stop them.
Like even a minute of me trying to talk to them real fast before we got on the horses, or is there just like no chance?
If you'd like to go in those moments and play that, then as they are delegating the horse situation and all that, let's Juniper.
Yeah. As they're doing that, and I see that they're really stressed out, I am just like, okay, wait. The burgomaster of wherever the fuck we just came from, I can't think right now.
Vallaki.
Vallaki, thank you. The burgomaster of Vallaki owes us a huge favor. Would you rather go off with the 5 of you and the 4 of us, or would you rather have a small army to help rescue this young one? So we might be able to get that for you.
People.
Well, so Rohan does.
Let's go.
One of
My
your
daughter's
own.
in there.
And your daughter will die if it's just the 5 of us, of you and us. She will die. I guarantee it.
You have no faith in the Vistani.
I have so much faith in the Vistani, which is why I want to get you help.
You think
I
we're
want
weak?
you. No, I don't think you're weak.
You,
I think they're
Mihai,
strong.
are you in or are you out?
Of course I will ride, but the girl has a point. You should listen to her.
I'm very smart.
She has saved my life many times. Extra
Juniper?
soldiers in the fight.
Make a persuasion check. It's going to be very difficult
Boy.
to convince this man to
Oh,
not
man.
head out right now.
There's no way to get advantage. There's nothing I can do. I don't think there's anything I can boost myself with. So,
This is the nat 21. I can feel it.
I mean, with all the nat ones I had last week. Come on.
Okay.
You make a fine argument, but time is of the essence. We need to ride.
I'm with this guy. Let's go. I like this guy.
It's like literally the guy that was just whipping the shit out of that kid in the tent. Like,
I don't like everything about him. I just
You're
like
guaranteeing death to at least half of us.
any of you who have little faith in the capabilities of this party can stay behind. We're off. He turns on his horse.
Juniper hesitates getting on her horse.
I am sorry, Juniper, but that's the way the Vistani rolls.
They're rolling into suicide.
Well, maybe we can help with that. You want to kill the hags just as much? Yeah, I mean, not killing them faster, but maybe we can prevent that. You want to kill the hags just as much as they do, Juniper, don't you?
I do,
Yes, sir.
but we just don't know.
How about this, Juniper? Do you think it might behoove us if you go and you get some reinforcements? Or maybe I can?
I don't want to leave you alone.
I don't want you to leave us either, but the longer we spend here talking, the Vistani are getting way far ahead of us.
Ghost starts riding.
Oh, shit.
Are we going to ride through Vallaki? Do we know if we are?
don't think, though, we went east from the southern encampment, so we're going from probably a different route.
Juniper gets on the horse and follows the group. She's not going to go to Valaki. She's going to stay.
Okay.
She does not like this.
2.5 hours on horseback, riding swiftly, trying your best to keep up with these skilled Vistani riders. The path, the old Svalich road, which you traveled inwards, it's familiar to you. Each bend is expected. And as you round the bend around the woods and head southward, after another 20 minutes of riding or so, you see finally upon the hillside is the old windmill standing tall in the distance. The Vistani don't show any intention of stopping. They wait for you at the turnoff point, which would head on the Windmill Road.
We should dismount here and prep.
Luvash looks at you, nods, dismounts his horse. Another Vistani walks 50 yards or so into a field. That's from that vantage point. It's a bit lower. Thinking it'd be a great place to tie up the horses. Luvash takes a big pull from his wineskin. Says, "This might be the last time we all breathe, but it's a risk we need to take. We need to fight hard, fight fiercely, fight with honor. Whatever we meet in there, it's no match for our strength. You, Mihai, what say you?"
Say, let's kill some witches. Be a pride that I will pin to my family name. And Rohan, he actually takes out a little camp stove and he's heating up a pie right now.
Rohan, is that what I think it is?
Oh, indeed, Manafaa, it is. Don't worry, I'm not eating this pie. I'm preparing it for somebody else. And he kind of just smiles at you. Leaves it at that.
Very well.
I kind of want to pull the group aside just for a second, just us, so that the Vistani can't hear us. And I'm just gonna whisper, "Gentlemen, I'm here to help you, but I'm not going to let any of you die for this cause. If one of you go down, I'm taking you and I'm leaving. I need you to know that I'm not going to die here. If things get bad, I'm out." It's not that I don't love you, it's that I'm not willing to die.
Fair enough.
Yes, that is very fair. We all have our own reasons for living and dying. We can't take that away from you.
If any of you do fall, I will make sure your names are recorded.
That brings me great comfort, Manafaa. Thank you.
Actually, I do not recall whether I have asked this before, but what gods do you follow?
I don't follow any gods, but in your book, if I die, write Desdemona. Desdemona Koo, not Juniper Jet.
For
An
me,
alias,
right.
alias.
Very well, and I will put down Timora.
That's fair.
Luvash approaches you. Have you scouted out this windmill before? What would be our most advantageous place to strike?
There is only one door, and we have only seen the first floor holding the kitchen. We do not know what lies in the rest of the tower.
There is a monument nearby with children's teeth scattered around. I don't know if there is maybe a secret entrance there. Might be worth looking into.
The monument, if you're looking at the windmill from this vantage point, the monoliths are another half a mile beyond the windmill. So you'd have to pass by the windmill to get there.
Very
Our
closer.
greatest asset is the element of surprise that we have right now. Also, we can't just set the windmill on fire or go in recklessly because we need to save one person, possibly. So
Maybe
that's a
more.
strike against us and a strike for us.
There is the chance that Rohan and I can approach under the alias that we're trying to purchase more pastries. That would at least distract them. I don't like being that close, but if I need to.
You guys look up in the sky and you notice there's a raven circling high above.
I get out my heavy crossbow.
Wait.
Poof. Take a shot.
All right. It's several hundred feet in the air. What's your range on your heavy crossbow?
400.
400? That's the top end?
Yeah.
So what's the prime range?
I have the sharpshooter feat, so anything under 400 is the same.
Cool. All right, roll to hit.
Nine. Shit.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna use precision. No, I'm not.
On the crow.
Are you sure, Ghost?
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Are
no.
you sure it's not worth it? Yeah,
Okay.
it would be a very impressive shot if you were to hit it. So, nobody really mentions it that you missed, and you don't feel too bad about it either.
I kind of feel a little bit bad, but I say, do you think that's a spy?
Honestly, in this land, I think everything is a spy. Although the question is for whom. The ravens are friends of the lord of this land, are they not?
Why would he be curious about this encounter?
Yes, we are involved. He has some interest in us.
Perhaps he enjoyed the dream pastry, and I look at Rohan.
Perhaps he did. Maybe we're best friends now. But it is an Vistani lure that ravens carry lost souls within them. So I don't think you should try killing one again, Ghost. Who knows? They might be carrying the souls of children that have died here. If there's any
Lubash
truth to that.
actually interjects as well. It's like, everyone knows it's bad luck to kill ravens.
Okay. Now I know. Thank you. I just didn't want to lose the elements of surprise because Rohan has also said that wolves and ravens are the spies.
Yes.
How are we doing this? Shall we approach and try and maintain some cover?
Honestly, the best approach seems to me to be prospective buyers.
Agreed.
Should we try to draw them outside of the windmill, or just distract them inside and you can sneak in with your attacks?
Inside will be very cramped, I think. Outside would be better, but is not guaranteed.
So we have no idea to know if they want us outside or inside. Perhaps if we're outside, they'll just leave or escape through some other entrance. No, I think we need to be very forceful and quick about this.
Very well.
So
All right,
how
Juniper?
are we gonna get
Huh?
how are we gonna get the Vistani involved after if we go in to purchase?
Yeah, they are with us, and actually, maybe after Rohan and Juniper go inside, maybe me too. Maybe Ghost, it's time for you to actually kick down the door and have it be the right choice.
Nothing would make me more happy.
Hi, how about that? Once Juniper and I have gotten the enemy off their guard, Juniper, you can send the Ghost a signal, and he'll kick the door in with the Vistani, and we'll start our mayhem.
Sounds like a plan. What will the signal be?
Didn't you give him a message?
Oh, yes, of course. Duh.
Can you do
Hey,
that secretly?
What
Or
are
is
the
that
components of the message spell?
You point your finger toward a creature within range and whisper a message. The target, here's the message. So I need to whisper something. And I
But
need to be pointing at you.
does it involve somatic components or verbal components or...
All of them, yes.
then it will be very obvious that you are casting a spell.
Yes, it will. I could create a bit of an illusion. I could flash some fire in the sky, like back home. Just a small little firework. That doesn't require anything except hand motions.
Very well.
All right, when you see the red fire in the sky.
Well, I'm gonna be right outside the door.
Well, one more time trying to purchase some pastries?
The last time, I hope. After you.
The
Rohan.
Vistani know the plan, right? We're not just leaving them in the dark.
I assumed it was all like a big discussion.
Gorgeous.
So we'll sneak up then and get within range.
Yes, but be immensely sneaky and quiet, please.
You have no faith in us, Vistani.
I have faith in you. It's these
Questioning us
witches.
since the very beginning.
I question everything.
I'll keep an eye on you during this battle as well.
You're more than welcome,
Because I
darling.
might get a knife in my back if I'm not careful.
Brother, we're not here to fight each other. I can vouch for her. She has saved my life on many occasions. Treat them with the same respect as you would treat me. I implore you.
Make a persuasion check with advantage, Rohan.
Advantage.
One more.
Right.
He grimaces a little bit. You're not sure if he's truly receptive or not, but seems to leave it at least. Well, pastry buyers, shall we?
I put my arm around Rohan's and I walk towards the door.
Okay. Knock.
Yeah, I will follow.
Oh, you're coming with?
Well, yes, I mean, we are a group. They have seen us all together before, and I will just wait outside on the stairs. Just like
Beautiful.
last time.
Love it.
All right, give me just one moment here. I'm going to bring you over to this map.
Ghost gets out the deed of the windmill one more time. Takes a look.
We own this.
This is our windmill. Still mad about that. Well, if we get into any legal troubles, people, You know, we have a legal right to be here, so.
Hey, buddy.
All right, so you guys can see the windmill. That's what it looks like from afar. And then I got this little map here. Totally Wizards of the Coast trademark artwork battle map, as you can see.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
Here you guys are. And you can position yourselves. And these guys are gonna kind of try and do that too. I'm just gonna roll stealth for them. All right, and one more. All right, Luvash, quiet as a panther, coming up behind you guys. All right, so you all four approach the windmill door. Please proceed.
I will just lean casually against the side of the windmill next to the door.
I knock.
From inside, a voice goes, "Oh, one moment, please." You hear some scuffling inside, and after a moment, the same woman who had greeted you before opens the door, and she goes, "Oh, back to purchase more pastries."
Absolutely. We ran dry. How many do you have?
We just finished up a fresh batch. Juniper, the smell hits you as she says this. Smells
Oh, no.
absolutely delightful.
We'll take
Rohan,
them
you
all.
get a whiff shortly after. You're gonna buy us out again. Wow, what a fortunate day.
So we were.
That'll just be 12 gold pieces again.
Beautiful. I take out 12 gold and I hand them to her.
She turns around after collecting your coin and walks over to the opposite window sill. One woman walks down the stairs at this time. Looks very similar as this lady. Pretty much like a frumpy late 30-year-old looking woman. They could be twins for as best as you can tell. So, oh, sister, we have company. Oh, yes. Oh, they've bought all our pastries again. Wow, such fortune. What are you guys doing?
I quickly go ahead.
Go on.
I was just gonna say I kind of glance over to Manafaa and just kind of let's see if that's the opportune time or if he wants me to keep going.
Rohan is while they're exchanging, Rohan is going to kind of not really force himself in, but like a nice salesman's walk himself into the door. It's like slightly open. Yeah. These pastries. We were in Valaki and we looked up and down all over the place for anywhere where we could find them. Couldn't be found anywhere.
Oh, yes. Well, they're a rather exclusive item, I suppose.
You don't
People just
trade,
love them over in Barovia.
but you don't trade in Valaki?
Not too often.
That's got to be a big shame, a huge cut in your profits. We'd looked everywhere. Is there a reason for that?
I suppose we just like to stick with what we know, but we'll think about that. Thanks for your advice.
Well, yes, not the problem at all. We did actually manage to find one person that actually had some pies on him. Yes, it was really nice to find. We've been wanting them for so long. He was a fisherman, I believe. went
Oh,
by the name of Bluto.
uh-huh.
Have you met
Interesting.
him?
No, not I. She looks
Not
at her sister, and her sister shrugs.
fascinating. And Rohan kind of looks over at the Juniper and gives her a little bit of a wink. He says, "Because oddly enough, the man said he came here when he received the pies, but he was told to come there."
I haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about. Here's your pastries.
Oh, thank you, thank you. No, it's we're gonna eat all of these pies, I guarantee it. But back to what I was saying. Now, he said he came here to buy some pastries, and I think he got a charm also, a good luck charm. Do you
Beats
do you,
me.
do you work in charms?
Not at all. And I'm afraid if we have no more business to do here, you should be on your way.
Well, what kind of commerce do you take? What do you take? You only take coins? No other types of trades?
As soon as he says that, I shoot the fire up into the sky.
All right. No, sir. We are simply pastry salespeople here, and it's our family trade, and there's nothing to be concerned about. You all should leave.
Rohan takes out a charm that he took from the fat guy when he killed him. This didn't come from here?
I'm gonna need you guys to roll initiative.
Oh, what? Goes, kicks down the door and shoots.
Oh yeah, the fire was in the air. Oh shit. I gotta do that wrong better.
Let me get the initiative up real quick here, guys. Sorry, you'll have to add if you keep going because I didn't have the thing cleared. I'll put all you guys up in the initiative order.
Actually, I'm glad that they attacked us then, because then we know for sure. Just because. If we killed them and then they were innocent.
We got a sneak attack in, they're just like, ah!
Oh, lordy. Hey, maybe this will be just like Essek. Maybe we'll just absolutely destroy them. He's sick.
Maybe.
I don't like the way you
Alright,
said that,
guys.
DM.
Go ahead and enter your stuff in there if you have not. I've got several rolls I need to make for myself here. Alright. Let's get Luash. $16. So many dice to roll. It's my favorite part.
Battle strategy.
All right. So, the first to act is actually someone you can't see currently in this room. But you'll soon find out that there is a spell that was cast.
Crap.
Juniper and Manafaa, how many hit points do you have?
Oh no.
23.
21.
Okay. All right.
Don't like this.
All right. Well. "21, you say, Juniper?
Yeah.
All right. Well, all of a sudden you feel this heaviness come upon your head. Your eyes get so tired, and you feel like you could just fall asleep in that moment. But right when it's really overtaking you, you kind of shake free of it and resist its effects.
If I would have been 1 hit point short, oh my goodness.
Luvash, seeing the flame go down, he is going to he's going to run up and just draw out his scimitar and be at the ready. If anything spills out, he will take an attack move. If one of you could help me remember that, if an enemy shall pass his way within the next round, but it is Ghost.
All right, let's go. Ghost kicks in the door. This is our windmill! And shoots the nearest woman.
All right. So, so one of them is like on the stairs and the other one was kind of like in the middle of the room. All right, roll to hit.
I'm gonna...
Hold Alt. The grid is slightly misaligned.
Go here. 2 shots at the one on the stairs, please.
All right, ready when you are.
Ugh. For the first one, I'm gonna use precision attack.
No problem.
19.
19 will hit.
Great.
Go ahead and roll for damage.
17.
All right. One of your crossbow bolts pierces into her leg. She lets out a howl.
All right, I'm done.
And next, Juniper.
Right. Okay. I think I started my turn just like standing right in the door, so I'm just going to make sure I'm there.
Okay.
I am going to use 2 sorcery points to twin spell Phantasmal Force. So I need both of the hags to make intelligence saving throws. DC is 14.
All right. So, one moment here. They'll each have advantage on their saving throws.
What?
Not needed for the first one. The second one, however, fails.
Oh, sweet. Which one's the second?
The one standing on the main level here is going to be the second one.
Beautiful. So she is going to be under the illusion that she is trapped inside of a giant oven and she is being burned to death.
Mm-hmm.
And I will send Phantasmal Force your way just so you've got all the info. But yes, she needs to make an intelligence check to get out of the force. Otherwise, she has no turn, basically. And then I'm going to use my feline agility, which allows me to move double my speed so long as I haven't moved yet. So I am going to use that to do 60 feet and
run there. Get myself as far away as possible.
Sure. So she's gonna deal some, get some damage then from this illusion.
Yes. I believe it is not until my turn, or does she take it immediately? Sorry, there's so much to remember about this spell.
It's all good.
Each round on my turn. Oh, so she does take it right now. Awesome. She's going to take 1d6 psychic damage. 1.
1 psychic damage. All right. As far as this lady knows, she's in an oven and it's just starting to hit her. She kind of seizes up a little bit. Doesn't seem terribly impacted. However, that'll bring us to Rohan.
Rohan is going to step close to the woman that is affected by Juniper's spell. He takes out one of his swords, and with his left hand, he's going to try to grip her around the neck, and then he's going to threaten them to say, "Tell us where the children are before I cut you in half." And if I don't get a response from her, he'll stab her.
She can't even really see you at the moment. She's just like looking bewildered.
Well, he's going to stab her then.
All right. 16?
Does only the 16 hit?
16 does not hit.
Oh, wow. As a bonus action, I'll Flayer's Eye on her.
All right. It doesn't say that anyone has advantage on her.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you're unable to hit her as she's flailing about, Rohan, but you're able to figure out the following. Yes, immunities, resistances, etc. So, this hag, confirmed. This hag has damage resistance to cold, fire, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical attacks that are not made with silver weapons. Condition immunities, charmed.
Well, that sucks.
And I believe that's there is resistance for magic, advantage on saving throws or spells against magical effects.
Keep that.
Since she's bound up, I can use my movement without fear of attack, right?
I'm gonna rule it as yes. I don't see anything in this description that would suggest that. But for me, if someone's like completely consumed with an illusion, then they wouldn't be able to see you or sense you. So
Rohan's going to take a step back outside and inform the Vistani what's going on, and also their weaknesses and strengths. And that'll be my turn.
Sounds good. All right. So this one is going to make an intelligence check. 19. So the illusion quickly dissipates for her, and as well as some sort of magic which was altering her appearance. No longer is a somewhat normal looking woman standing in front of you, but the illusion drops, and this greasy black hair and these warts all over her face appear, and she looks at you, and she's got teeth missing and they're yellow, and she looks very grotesque and has a hunch. And the same for her sister on the stairs as that's going on. The Vistani guard, these two here, are going to rush in right about here to approach, and that'll bring us to Manafaa.
All right, I will. duck inside using, that's what, 5, 10, 15 feet of movement. And I will, seeing the arrow already sticking out of the one on the stairs, present my holy symbol, holding the reliquary out in front, and begin to chant. And I will use Path to the Grave. So
Alright.
the next attack against the hag on the stairs, they will have vulnerability.
Okay. No saving throw, anything?
No.
Alright. Okay, well it is... Oh,
Oh yeah,
please.
then I will use my bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Is that a 12 to hit?
It is, yes.
Alright, it's gonna miss. It'll slam into the wall of the windmill. Not gonna do it. Is that your turn?
I will use my last 15 feet of movement to move back out.
Alright. Sounds good. So, it is the hag on the stairs' turn. She wiggles her fingers and points at you, Paul. Make a wisdom saving throw. Ghost. Sorry, not Paul. Paul, you're good. Ghost ain't good. All right. Ghost, you feel the world become suddenly much larger. As you shrink to the ground, you are now a frog. You've been afflicted by polymorph. Anyone who's seen Ghost and observing Ghost, he is now on the ground, hopping around.
Do you look like a frog or does he look like Ghost?
He looks like a frog with maybe a slight bit of green in his eye.
Ask.
Ribbit. Ribbit.
All of your ability scores are replaced by the frog's stats. However, you retain your alignment and your personality, so probably a very cuddly frog. You assume that the hit points of your new form. I'll get you a frog token here really quick. You guys see Ghost just disappear and a frog resume in his space there. The witch cackles at her accomplishment. That's going to be the Vistani. The other two that were flanking out here, they are holding tight with crossbows, waiting for this to spill out inevitably. Which brings us again to the top of the round. From up above in a window, looks down and sees Rohan standing there. Rohan, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, please. All right. Something must have gave you some warning as you look up just in time to see this sickening greenish energy lashing out towards you. You just duck to the side as it makes impact with the ground. You look up and you see another. It's the old granny up in the second window, and she's looking at you and her.
You.
All right. And that will be her turn. Followed by Luvash. Seeing this old granny in the window and nothing going on inside, he has this rapier, but he reaches down and grabs a dagger, and he's going to try and throw it at her. 19 hits. So she laughs at you, Rohan, just in time as a dagger comes up and sticks into her chest. She lets out a shriek, and she kind of reels back a moment from the window. And Luvash, like, he seems very satisfied with his efforts. That's going to bring us, I guess, yeah, ghost. You're a frog, but you can still move. No saving throw, unfortunately.
All right. Well, if I have the intelligence of a frog,
Hippity hop on out of there. That's what a frog would do.
I would probably just hop out. Yep. I'm gonna hop out of this windmill and get away from the commotion. I can't move my tokens, so just move me as far as I can go.
Okay, no problem.
Ribbit. Ribbit. Did Manafaa see that, hopefully? The spell?
I think
The door's kicked open.
he at least
Yeah.
saw your form disappear. But probably didn't see like he didn't see the final outcome. Maybe you can tell us what it seems like from a frog's perspective real quick, Jose.
Well, I look around this tower, look at these two old ladies, and feel like my life is in jeopardy. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. So 5, 10, ribbit. Look up towards this giant devil thing, and then look over and see this other thing, and like go back and forth a little bit. Ribbit, 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 and then just take one more hop. Now I'm
Juniper.
surrounded. I'm panicking.
Juniper, it is your turn once more.
Great. Okay. I will get within 60 feet of this one. About there. That's
Okay.
10 feet of movement. As a bonus action, I will reach into my bag and pull out one of the other scrolls that I got from Durst Manor. And I think I can do this as a bonus action. Cast Spiritual Weapon using the scroll. Or does using the scroll take an action?
That's interesting.
Because the spell itself is a bonus
Spell
action.
itself is a bonus action, but I think reading it from a scroll. I think reading from a scroll would be an action,
Would be
Juniper.
an action. Okay. Then I'm going to wait to do that until we desperately need that. And I'm just going to cast Chromatic Orb on this one.
Okay, go ahead, roll the hit.
I think I put it in correctly. Let's see. Oh, I apologize. I meant Chaos Bolt.
Okay.
I don't have Chromatic Orb. I'm
A 10's
assuming
not
it-
hit, unfortunately.
Then
It's a pretty tough shot that you're trying to pull off anyway. Probably explains the miss from such a far distance through the open door through to the back of the windmill. You're aiming at a spot like this big in your view.
Yep. Yes, I am. Okay. I will use the remainder of my movement, which is 20 feet, to get to here. And that'll do it.
Okay. Rohan.
Quick question. The frog hopping out.
Yeah.
Is there any way Rohan might have been able to recognize that frog as Ghost?
Make an insight check. Definitely not. You're like, what the fuck is a frog doing here? These witches must be really crazy.
Come back.
Frog in the battlefield. Anyway, Rohan is going to run inside. He's wondering, where's Ghost? He doesn't see him, so he's going to cast as a bonus action. Do Hunter's Mark on this one here,
Okay.
and then he will attack it with silver short swords.
Do it.
Ooh.
First one hits. It's a crit, man. So whatever your full damage from the first.
So is that 29? Or wait, yeah, no, it's
What's your top damage from a regular hit?
with the short swords.
Yeah,
It should be 9.
9 damage. Okay,
Yeah.
and then you roll again.
Oh, roll the short sword again, or for the damage again.
So it's 9 plus a regular attack. So what die are you rolling? A d6?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 9 plus 1d6.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll roll another one because the other the 2d6 is for the hunter's mark and the slayer's eye, so I'll roll an extra d6.
Perfect. Nice.
Nice.
So
Okay.
24 total.
Looks like it. Yeah.
Sweet.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Yeah. The way it slashes her skin, it kind of like you can see it burning and being extra effective with your silver swords. You feel really good about the damage you inflicted there.
And I will pass.
All right. Well, being right up in her grill, she's going to She is going to. I think she's going to take a claw attack. Go right. Slash for slash. All right. 21 to hit.
Hits.
15 slashing damage, Rohan, as she gets back at you and rakes you right across your chest. Definitely blow for blow in that case. And that will be her turn. It's the Vistanic Guard. Their turn. They are just waiting for anything to happen, to come out of this doorway. Manafaa.
I will use 15 feet of movement to move inside. And then looking up at the one on the stairs, once again I'll bring up my holy symbol and chant a different chant this time and fire out a guiding bolt.
All right. And what level spell is that?
It is a first level, but I'm going to cast it at second level.
Okay. You go to cast guiding bolts, and this witch waves her hand, and it fizzles out at your holy symbol. She casts counterspell.
Then I will make an attack using my bonus action with the spiritual weapon.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
That will miss, and I will use 15 feet of movement to back out of the room.
Very well. All right. She is going to position herself just one down here. And at Rohan, being the main target here, you see Rohan, these quick blasts of light, and you are impacted by three of them. As she casts magic missile Each of these is going to be +1. So 4, 5, 11 points of damage there. Let me double check the type of damage. I believe that would be force damage. Yep, force damage. You're just blasted by three magic missiles, Rohan.
While you're interacting with that token, the red mark can be removed. Eyes of the Grave only lasts till my next turn.
I put that red mark there to symbolize that she has concentration at the moment. So, they are licking their chops looking at you, Rohan. And that will end her turn. And Vistani, the others are looking out. One of them thinks he has a good read on the witch upstairs. He's going to take a crossbow bolt, try and strike her. Doesn't hit, lodges into the side of the windmill. Going up to the top of the order again, we have the old woman cackling from the second floor window, seeing this feeble attempt with the arrow, but looks down menacingly at this hulking man who struck her with a dagger, and she is going to make an attack on him. And he needs to make a wisdom saving throw. Which he is fortunately able to do. She's blast. And that is going to be his turn, or that's going to be her turn rather, as he is going to run into this room. And I'm going to say there is a 50% chance that he steps on the frog that's in his way. So, Paul, you want high or low?
High, of course.
High to avoid?
Well, no, high would be good, right? High.
Yeah.
I'm asking what range you want, 51 and up or
Yeah. 51 and up will squish me and I go back to normal.
All right. He runs over and he's going in here, steps on the frog, squishes the frog, but in that moment, Ghost's form appears once more.
What happened?
This one, he runs in, he's got his rapier drawn, and he makes 3 attacks with his scimitar, excuse me. And he misses all 3 of them. Unfortunately, he's in a rage, just trying to hack at this witch, and she's far more agile than he could have anticipated. Ghost, it is your turn once more. I'll get your token.
I got her. Oh, I put it out there. That's...
Oh, 2 ghosts.
2 ghosts.
Oh, you got it? All right, no problem.
All right. Okay. I was... Ribbit. I'm good. Ribbit. All right. I run into the castle, the tower again.
All right, you're right behind Lubash.
They both don't look injured much, do they?
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, I'll take a shot at the one on the right.
Go for it. $12 will not hit.
I'll use precision attack again.
Okay.
Ugh, 14.
14 won't do it.
Damn it.
They're far more nimble than you expected. Like as the frumpy women that you met in their hag form, they're just like actually pretty frightening how hard they are to hit.
All right. I will take one more shot.
15 is a miss.
I will use precision attack again. 21.
21 hits.
Yes. 16 damage.
All right. 16 damage.
I'm gonna get back out of there. Did you hit with
Another
guiding bolt?
shot in the leg. Doesn't appear terribly injured as a result. Did you ask a
Alright.
question, Ghost?
Oh, I asked if guiding bolt hit. No? Okay, I'm done.
Very good. It's going to bring us to Juniper.
Lovely. Okay, I am going to use 30 feet to move there. I believe that's 30 feet. Let me double check. Yep. And then from here, I am going to cast. Do I have line of sight on the woman in the window?
She tried to. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. I am going to cast Magic Missile.
Okay.
And I'm going to do 2 at the hag next to Rohan and 1 at the one in the window. So these are for Rohan's hag. She takes 8 damage, and the one in the window takes 5. My goal with this is to try to get them to have their eyes on me. I kind of want them to focus on me. And I'm just going to yell at the top of my lungs, "Do we need to go? This seems pointless." And that'll be my turn.
No problem. Just want to reveal that's the second floor that the woman is. Quick side note, probably a different trajectory of our campaign if I had shared with you the picture of this old woman in the very beginning when you bought those pies. But who knows?
Maybe.
We'll never know now. Rohan, your turn, buddy.
Rohan is grievously wounded, and he's going to actually disengage. He's going to run out here next to Manafaa. And for his action, do you get a bonus action? I think I will. No, actually, that's one action. Never mind. Okay, that's it.
Okay, no problem. Okay, this witch here on the ground floor, looking at this Luvash, she's gonna run at him actually, and she is going to take a swipe at him with her claws, which will be a hit. She kind of rakes him across the back. He's not expecting it, looking up at her sister. And he takes 13 slashing damage. And that will bring us to the Vistani guard outside. He's going to rush in, seeing his commander do the same. Position himself and try and make a spear attack. Natural 20. Wow. All right. So that's 9 plus. I guess plus 1d8. All right, 16 piercing damage on her. Stabs her right in the side. It's a shit house in there now, guys. Manafaa, your turn.
If I cast a spell of a higher level, I can only cast a cantrip in addition to it, right? Even if it's a bonus action?
I'm not sure about that.
I think that's the case, that you can only cast one spell, and if you do another one, it has to be a cantrip. I learned that through researching sorcery and sorcery points.
That's for choosing to cast at a higher level spell?
No, that's for just any.
In general.
If I cast a spell that expends a spell slot, I cannot cast a second spell that expends a spell slot.
Oh,
Even
in the
if
same
it's-
turn?
Yeah, even if it's a bonus action.
Yeah, that's right.
I will turn... Look at Rohan and grab him by the shoulder, casting Cure Wounds at first level.
Okay.
Thank you, Manafaa.
I think perhaps we'll leave. From where I am, can I see this hag right here?
You
Through the
might
door.
just, but I'm gonna say it's like 3/4 cover.
Oh, just so I can move my spiritual weapon and maybe make a.
Oh,
make a
sure.
strike.
Yeah, that would definitely be possible.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll the hit. Oh, look at you. All right, let's see damage.
$15 points of force damage.
15 force damage. Nice, dude.
And I will use 20 feet of movement to back up away from the door.
Very good, very good. All right, so it brings us to the witch on the stairs. She looks straight at Luvash and said, "You made a big mistake." And she's going to make him do a wisdom saving throw, which he fails. And none of you are in the room, but you hear a loud shriek from this man, Luvash, and he's gonna take 22 points of psychic damage.
Ooh.
As this scream he lets out is like he is in severe pain. Whatever occurred here. The Stani with the short bow is going to run in here, run right here and take another shot up at the upstairs. The woman upstairs. And it's gonna be another miss. Which brings us to Morgantha, is her name, the grandmother. And she looks down and sees one guard and also sees Ghost there. And seeing Ghost looking pretty healthy, she's going to say a few words, and I'm gonna need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Damn it. 13.
Ghost, you're looking intently, ready for anything that could possibly come out the door after you, when your entire body seizes up and you fall over. You are now paralyzed. She's casted Hold Person.
Okay. Click.
Luvash here. Let me double check. Okay, so he needs to make another wisdom saving throw. Which he fails. He is going to, out of fear, he's going to try and run away, which is provoking 2 opportunity attacks against him. He is consumed by delusions at the moment. And he's going to take 2 slashing attacks against him, both of which land. That is going to be 24 slashing damage. And he doesn't make it very far. He goes down on a knee in the door, and you can see him bloody, bruised, beaten. He looks in terrible shape. Ghost, it's your turn.
Do I make a save at the end?
Yes.
Another wisdom?
Yes, DC 15. All right, you are able to come to your senses, and you just like catch yourself on the ground and look up towards the battlefield once again.
I'm okay, guys.
Juniper.
Yes, that's me. Question. I cannot recall the last time I cast Darkness. Did we decide that follows the object that it's casted on, or does it stay stationary in the spot that I casted it?
It follows the object which you cast it on.
Okay.
I think you can do it either way.
I'm not going to cast Darkness right now. But I am going to get myself a little bit closer to my guys. I'm going to allow myself to move about 20 feet here. And I'm going to yell out, "Everyone come to me and grab my hand. I can get us out of here." And would it be possible for me to hold my action until everyone is holding my hand in a chain?
Yeah.
I will hold my action until everyone is holding my hand, or at least holding each other's hand.
Make a persuasion check, Juniper.
Oh, I don't really care about the Bastani, just saying that, but I will.
Okay.
I am going to, when I say everyone, I do only mean Manafaa, Ghost, and Rohan. But I will make a persuasion because I will take anyone who wants to come.
Okay. Good to know. And yes, you're able to do that. No problem. Rohan.
Rohan, appraising the situation, realizes that they are definitely in over their heads. These witches are way too strong. Luvash, listen to Juniper. We have to go now. And Rohan is going to cast Cure Wounds on the Vistana.
Okay. Just let me know. 1d8.
Yep. +2. No.
4.
4. And
Okay.
then he's like, "Follow me." And Rohan is going to catch up with Juniper.
Sounds good. All
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
It's all good. I'm plotting my next evil move. So, this witch here, it's her turn. Just getting stabbed in the side, she turns her attention on this Vistani behind her. He reels back and avoids her swipe, luckily for him. Which brings us to the guard, and he's gonna get back at her, hopefully. Another spear attack. Unfortunately, missing her. It's a scrap between the two of them, and that'll bring us to Manafaa. Oh, sorry. This guard's gonna jump in here and just be like, "For honor!" and jump over his commander and try and take a spear attack at the one on the stairs that he could see. And he's also gonna miss.
Alright, I will use my bonus action to attack this witch with spiritual weapon.
All right, do it. It's not gonna do it. Your spiritual weapon, for some reason, just slams straight into the ground.
Then I will use 15 feet of movement to catch up here. And that will be my turn.
Okay. Well, the hags are occupied with the invaders in their home now, so this one on the stairs will take a swipe at the one in front of her. Not gonna do it. Rolling very poor all of a sudden. The Vistani, the other two, are going to try and get closer, and I believe this man will be able to get up to here. This crossbow bolt, seeing the one on the stairs take a rip. Not gonna do it. He almost shoots the commander right in the head. Lands in between the two into the stairs. And that brings it back to the top, where Morgantha in the second story window is assessing you all, trying to make an escape. Which I realize she's very evil. Brad's not very evil, but she's very evil. So, let me see here. Casting at 5th level.
No,
Oh my god.
it's not allowed.
Wait one sec.
We're level, what, 4 or 3? Fifth level shouldn't be allowed.
Insects.
We are babies. Oh no, he's gone. He was too scared.
Say what?
Nothing, he's back.
Who's back?
We lost Preston for a
We
moment.
lost Preston.
Just for a
he got
moment.
scared.
Oh my god, she cast Power Word Kill on Preston.
Don't like how long you're taking, Brad. I don't like this at all.
I still don't know what spell
build
you're
up.
holding.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
56. One moment. Need to check something real quick.
I think if she hit any of us,
Oh yeah, no.
we're dead.
Actually,
Drive that hit.
actually, not too bad because I didn't take stock of the area which that affected, which doesn't get to you guys out here, unfortunately. But 56, she casts sleep. You guys look over, and you see Luvash here in the doorway falls limp to the ground. The two Vistani inside as well, if you had eyes on them, which would be 24, 34. $22 hit points remaining. They are going to be the only ones affected by that, fortunately. And I won't reverse my decision, given how long that took me to do math. Math is hard, folks.
Feel my heart in my chest right now.
Which brings us to Luvash's turn. He's asleep.
I was waiting for lightning bolt.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, you guys weren't positioned in a great way for a lightning bolt. Okay, Luvash can't do anything. He's asleep. And that would bring us to Ghost.
Ghost, please.
We're gonna abandon these guys?
Yes.
Rohan? Ghost is kind of looking back and forth.
We have no choice. We cannot defeat these witches. Come on, Vistani, let's go. There's no honor in dying here. There's honor in saving these kids.
Can I see the hag in the window?
Yep,
I'm gonna take 2 shots at her.
do it.
Take this, you hag!
Shot.
Oh, no good.
Neither.
I'm gonna action surge. Shoot one more time. Ah!
We're gonna get wiped out.
Horrible!
Oh my God.
Horrible rolls! Oh my
You wanted it too bad. Unfortunately, your last one jams. Actually, you might want to look at that later on as the bolt breaks somehow.
Shit.
Do you complete the chain?
And I grab it. Juniper's hand, whoever has a hand.
As soon as he grabs one of the hands, I will use my held action to spend 2 sorcery points and cast darkness censored on me.
Okay.
So we are enveloped in a 15-foot orb of darkness.
Okay.
And my turn is next. So I don't know how this is going to work mechanically because it's not the fella's turn. But ideally what I would love to do is take a dash action, pulling my fellas with me to get as fucking far away as we possibly can. And I just want to pull these guys along with me. Using the sorcery points, I can see through the darkness, so I do know where I'm going.
All right. Yeah, movement doesn't exactly work like that
It doesn't.
in combat, so I'm not sure how that would be effective. We can say getting through another round, all of you guys can move in tandem at the top of the round once your next turns are completed.
Like holding our movement.
Yeah, you'd have to all hold your actions and try and, once you all meet that criteria, move together in tandem.
We can't be
Okay.
seen, so yeah.
So I would just hold my action along with everybody else, and then we would start moving.
Yes.
Okay, we'll do that. At least if everyone else agrees with that. I'm taking initiative, but...
Run away!
Yeah, we are running.
Okay. So all of you guys are holding actions then. So I'll skip your turn, Rohan. Anything else you'd want to say, or a bonus action or anything, Rohan?
Just yells to the Vistani again to join them.
All right. I think you know, given the Vistani pride, that they're in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as you say that, this witch turns to the sleeping commander, who's incapacitated on the floor. It's going to be advantage. 18. And that's going to be an auto crit, and that's going to do it. You guys... Well, actually, you guys can't see anything. You hear the piercing of flesh from somewhere behind you. And silence. Anything, Manafaa?
Nope.
Okay, spiritual weapon.
I need to be able to see the target to make an attack with it, so...
Okay. All right. Well, stepping over a body, this other witch comes and sees this other Vistani standing there in the doorway. He's going to make a wisdom saving throw. Juniper, if you're looking back, you see this Vistani tense up and fall to the ground.
I continue facing forward. I cannot look back at these men.
Okay. This other Vistani is going to run here and try and get a crossbow bolt in. It's a crit.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah. It's 1d10 and then an extra d10. Look at that. Oh, you can't because it's a GM roll, but he rolled a 10. So it's going to be 20 points piercing damage. No, brothers, I will save you. Gets up to top of the round. Morgantha's turn. She's going to let you guys go. She's going to yell out the window. Hopefully I won't be seeing you again. And much more terrible and witchy than I just portrayed it, but strikes fear, and you guys get a cold shudder. The sound of her voice and her taunting. She yells one last thing. Thanks for the tasty treats. And with that, you guys are all free to make your movement.
I grab everyone's hands and, as fast as freaking possible, just down the road in a little daisy chain.
To the horses.
Oh yeah, we have horses. Do we want to even use them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We should return them to the Vistani.
That's true. Okay, I pull us to the horses.
A dead Vistani? They don't need those horses. As we're leaving, Rohan says, "No, run away! They're too strong! A 5th level mage!"
As soon as we get to the horses, I'll drop darkness, and in that moment you can see that Juniper is streaming tears. She is losing it. She is breathing heavy, and she's just screaming, "Go, go, 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 get on the horses," and she just starts taking off back towards the village.
Yep.
How are you guys going to do this with the horses? There are 9 horses total.
I think I'm just going to take one. I don't care about the others. I take the one that I came in on.
Rohan is going to, if they were tied up, he'll unleash all of them. Just take his, but slap the asses of the ones that they're not going to take, so they take off. Hopefully they'll get back home.
They just you want them to just run away?
Yeah.
All right. Make an animal handling check, Rohan. All right. You slap them on the ass. They don't really move anywhere. Kind of walk in a circle.
I'm gonna go up to one of the ones that's in a circle, or like going in a circle, and I'm gonna tie the reins to like the saddle of another one, so they're paired. And then I'm gonna go up to the first one and just kind of be like, "Look, horse, you will get hungry. This is barren field. It's time for you to go home now, okay?" And just kind of pat it and like point in the direction that we came from.
Look, horse.
Look,
Make
horse.
an animal handling
Look,
check,
horse.
please. Look at me, horse.
Look, horse.
Look, horse.
You think it got the message? As you guys ride away, though, the horses are kind of like maybe meandering down the road in that direction.
Hey, they will speed up when they get hungry enough.
So, on horseback, the outliers forced to flee after getting their asses handed to them by a full coven of hags. That is where we will call tonight's session. Sorry, guys.
No, we deserved that.
Very strong. They're very strong. So we will see what becomes of all this. Certainly some consequences down the road. We'll see what that looks like. Always great to anticipate those. Am I right?
Woo.
Wow, it's been a ride. Thank you, everybody who tuned in this evening. We're here at the Emerald Dragon playing Curse of Strahd tonight, picking up with Tomb of Annihilation the next week, and we'll get back to Strahd the week after that. Until then, everybody, be safe out there. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.